Phoenix Knights. Chapter 5263. The hybrid demons had entered. All of them were experts. As soon as they entered, they sensed the uniqueness of this place. Heavenly Law. It was an existence above Dharma Destroyer. It was a transcendent existence that could break free from the wasteland's gravity. If this pure land was really at the Heavenly Law level, it would be a great opportunity for them. It was the same for all the hybrid demons. Because a Heavenly Law level pure land would definitely contain many opportunities, enough to nurture a large number of experts. Even if it's not at the Heavenly Law level, it's at least at the 8th or 9th level of Dharma Destroyer. A hybrid demon said in a deep voice. Send the news back immediately. Also, kill all the spirit race people here. Leave no one alive! The others nodded and immediately scattered to clean up the spirit race people here. Lei Qi and the others would never have thought that because of their selfishness, they did not send the news back immediately, leading to a fatal disaster. By the time they reacted, it was obviously too late. Lei Qi took out a talisman token with a hint of regret in his eyes. This thing was too precious. It was equivalent to 1/3 of his wealth. The next moment, he crushed the talisman token and sent everything about this place back. More than half of the people he brought this time had been killed. The hybrid demons behind were still approaching, so Lei Qi could only lead people to force their way in. After Zichen refined the spirit fruit, he found that more of its power had been replenished to his physical body. This was quite a pleasant surprise for Zichen. Zichen planned to continue deeper. There would definitely be more opportunities. After advancing for less than 10,000 feet, Zichen suddenly stopped. Another Black Panther appeared in front of him. The Black Panther's combat strength was equivalent to the 6th level of Dharma Destroyer. If Zichen went all out, he could still deal with it. However, the hybrid demons were enemies in this place. Lei Qi and the others were also hostile to him. If he was injured, it would be very troublesome. Zichen planned to bypass this place and continue deeper. However, not long after, he found a second Black Panther. Zichen could only turn back. Although there were no fruits in the periphery, there were spirit flowers. The energy contained in the spirit flowers was much greater than that of a level 3 law crystal. There was still a lot of time, so Zichen was not in a hurry. After returning to a relatively safe area, Zichen continued his search for spirit flowers. All of a sudden, he sensed Lei Qi's presence in his surroundings. Previously, Zichen had deliberately taken a detour to avoid them. Are they here for revenge? Just as this thought appeared in his mind, he saw that Lei Qi and his men were running away in horror. They were all injured. A tyrannical aura came from behind. They were mantis demons. They were chasing after Lei Qi and the others. Their leader was a 6th-tier Dharma Destroyer. Zichen immediately retracted his soul force and headed in another direction. Zichen had never seen that 6th-tier Dharma Destroyer before. It seemed that the other party had arrived later. Previously, both sides were searching for their own opportunities and did not fight. Why are they fighting now? Zichen's expression changed slightly as he guessed the reason. The hybrid demon reinforcements had arrived. But the spirit race had not come. It was very likely that Lei Qi and the others had not reported the situation here. At the thought of this, Zichen's expression turned ugly. This bunch of people were really greedy. They dared to hog such a huge opportunity? Weren't they afraid of dying from overeating? If the hybrid demon reinforcements had arrived earlier, they would definitely clear this place. So what Zichen needed to do next was not to search for opportunities, but to survive. There's a second stage realm over there. Go and kill him! A cold voice came from afar. The 6th-tier Dharma Destroyer realm hybrid demon had discovered Zichen. One of them immediately dashed out from the team and charged towards Zichen. This was a 5th-stage realm hybrid demon. Zichen did not dare to stay here any longer. He turned and left. His speed was not very fast. The direction he fled in was different from Lei Qi and the others. Both parties gradually distanced themselves. The hybrid demon chased after him relentlessly. His eyes were cold as he looked at Zichen's back view, like a lamb waiting to be slaughtered. The distance between both parties was getting closer and closer. Zichen, who was fleeing in front, suddenly stopped. The hybrid demon was slightly stunned. "Run! Why aren't you running?" Zichen laughed coldly. "I'll kill you before I run!" Wang! In the sky, an array appeared. It was at least 100 feet tall. A strong aura descended from above. At the same time, Zichen did not retreat. Instead, he advanced. The slaughter spirit was hidden by his side, ready to kill at any time. A rumbling sound was heard from the forest as the ancient trees fell one by one. Fallen leaves danced in the air as sand and stones flew. The battle happened very quickly and caught the 5th stage realm hybrid demon off guard. It ended very quickly and unexpectedly. Zichen kept the other party's corpse and disappeared in a few leaps. 15 minutes later, some hybrid demons arrived. When they saw the messy battlefield, their expressions changed. It was obvious that their companion had been killed. Chase! The few of them chased after Zichen. Zichen hid himself in the cave. He opened the hybrid demon's ring and found 8 spiritual flowers inside. This made him very surprised. Other than that, there were also a few high-grade crystals. Zichen immediately took out the spiritual flowers and started to refine them. He did not intend to participate in the outside world's opportunities. Before the spirit race's reinforcements arrived, he did not intend to leave this cave. The surroundings of the cave had long been covered with formation seals, concealing all of his aura. Next, he just had to wait. Either the reinforcements would arrive, or he would break through himself, and then think of a way to escape. The Alliance received the news much later than the hybrid demons. But the Alliance's actions were very fast. They even took out some jade talismans to allow the reinforcements to arrive at the boundary of the burial grounds. Then, they entered the depths of this pure land. The entrance was guarded by hybrid demons. The moment they entered, a huge battle broke out. "Huiyan, what are you doing?" After killing a 6th-stage hybrid demon, the youth turned his head and looked into the distance. He saw a woman as light as a swallow leaving the battlefield and flying towards the depths. "Looking for someone." Huiyan left behind a sentence before disappearing into thin air. The youth snorted in dissatisfaction. "Let's end this quickly." This time, the spirit race had sent their true experts. In the blink of an eye, all the hybrid demons here were killed. "Leave 2 people to wait for Zhou and the others. The rest follow me." After leaving this sentence, the youth went deeper. Zichen did not know what was happening outside. At this moment, he was refining the spiritual flowers. He wanted to break through. The spiritual flowers disappeared one after another. The spiritual chi was refined and strengthened. After the spiritual flowers were used up, Zichen began to refine the law crystals. When more than half of the law crystals were used up, Zichen finally broke through. Level 3 Law Destruction. A powerful aura surged in the cave. The arrays hidden in the surroundings lit up one by one, completely isolating his aura. In the outside world, everything was normal. Chapter 52-64. To be able to break through here was out of Zichen's expectations. An overbearing aura was emitted from the core of the energy, and it spread out like waves. The movement was huge, but it was unable to leave the cave as it was blocked by the array. After a moment, everything calmed down. Zichen removed the array and walked out of the cave. He didn't know what the situation was, so he planned to return. If there were other spirit clans, it meant that reinforcements were here. He would try to go deeper and look for other opportunities. If there weren't any, he would escape. Who knew that the moment he moved, a ray of light appeared from afar. The 3 mantis demons stood in 3 different directions and surrounded Zichen. Looking at the 3 of them, Zichen was stunned. "Kid, we finally found you!" One of the hybrid demons gritted his teeth. "Let's see where you can run next! I'm going to tear you into 5 pieces!" The one by the side also said coldly. They had been looking for Zichen for a long time. 3 5th-stage realm cultivators dare to be so arrogant? Zichen's lips curled into a disdainful smile. He stomped his feet and an array appeared under his feet and extended out rapidly. After breaking through, Zichen's battle power increased again, and he was not afraid of facing a 5th-stage realm cultivator. He tapped his feet and flew towards one of the hybrid demons. He punched out. 1! The array moved along with Zichen's attack. The hybrid demon shouted and punched out as well. An overbearing aura surged out from the other party's core of energy. Boom! With a loud boom, the air billowed and the hybrid demon's body slid backwards. Zichen's figure flashed, and he charged towards the second person. 1 against 3. This battle caused a huge commotion. The 3 hybrid demons who were originally full of confidence only knew how strong the other party was after the battle. The 3 of them used all their strength, but they couldn't suppress the other party. This made them extremely shocked. The overbearing aura surged in the forest. Zichen looked at the 3 of them indifferently and said, "The 3 of you, have a safe journey." His expression was solemn as his hands formed a seal. The ground started to shake and numerous rays of light appeared, like sharp blades landing on the 3 of them. Poof poof sounds kept ringing. There were dozens of bloody holes on their bodies. The next moment, the light of the formation disappeared, and the 3 fell to the ground. Zichen's face paled slightly. This attack consumed a lot of energy. Just as he was about to step forward and collect the spoils of war, he suddenly froze. There was a person standing on a big tree in front of him. Zichen looked at him warily. It was a woman. No one knew when she had appeared. She descended from above and glanced at Zichen, then at the 3 corpses on the ground. Not bad. Zichen looked at him. Who are you? Gray Swallow. The woman said, Hurry up and pack up. Follow me to the depths. You are the spirit race's reinforcements? Zichen was surprised. Leichi sent a message? If we don't leave, the other mantis demons will come. The Gray Swallow walked straight ahead. Zichen quickly collected the corpse and followed the Gray Swallow. However, at this moment, he was still puzzled in his heart. Why did the other party want to bring him to the depths? This is a heavenly law level pure land. The greatest opportunity lies in the core area. Seeing Zichen follow, the Gray Swallow said, A heavenly law level pure land? Zichen was a little surprised. Right now, he was only at level 3 of the law destruction realm. There was still a long way to go before he reached the heavenly law realm. Hui Yan continued, Heavenly law level fortuitous encounters have their own specificity, and are relatively more focused. Zichen thought of the red fruit and said, I refined a fruit previously and found that it can strengthen my body. Then the opportunity here is the physical body opportunity. Although it can't be compared to the soul power opportunity, it's still a rare opportunity. The Gray Swallow began to explain the various opportunities. The entire body was divided into 3 categories: physical body, soul, and energy. Among them, the soul opportunity was the rarest, followed by the physical body opportunity, followed by the energy opportunity. Of course, this was only relative to the 3 types of opportunities. In fact, each of them was very rare. Any one of them would be amazing. With your current realm, you can't go to the depths. Next, I will bring you to a place that you feel is within your ability. You can search for opportunities in that area. Zichen looked at the other party. Why? Since coming here, he had almost never met a good person. For example, someone like the Gray Swallow was very rare. Before we came, Zhouho asked me to take care of you. Zichen knew Zhouho. He was the person who gave him the Alliance headquarters token. The 2 of them arrived at the area where the Black Panther was. Zichen's expression was a little nervous. Even though he had broken through, he still had to be careful when facing the Black Panther. Suddenly, a Black Panther darted out from the dark and charged towards the 2 of them. The Gray Swallow only glanced at it. Her figure swayed and disappeared from the spot. In the next moment, she arrived in front of the Black Panther. With a loud tremor, the Black Panther fell into a pool of blood. It was just a palm strike. Zichen's expression changed slightly. Through the aura, the other party's realm was at least at level 7. It was very likely that she was at level 8 of the Law Destruction realm. The gray swallow dug out a crystal from the Black Panther's head. This crystal was also red. It was similar to the fruit Zichen had found. Zichen was astonished. He had killed Green Wolf earlier, but he hadn't been able to cut open its body. The gray swallow glanced at the red crystal and said, "It is indeed an opportunity to improve the physical body." She tossed the crystal to Zichen. Zichen took it and started to refine it. The energy entered his body. Next, Zichen found several red fruits. After plucking them, he wanted to give some to the gray swallow, but the other party rejected him. When they went deeper, there were battle waves. It was someone else. "Do you still dare to go deeper?" After walking for a while, the gray swallow turned to look at Zichen. There were many Black Panthers here. Their battle power was equivalent to level 6. The gray swallow fought them easily, but Zichen couldn't. He shook his head. "I'll stay here." "Then be careful," the gray swallow said. "If there is danger, leave this place. The Alliance's heavenly law is guarding outside." "Even the heavenly law is here?" Zichen was shocked. If that was the case, he didn't have to worry anymore. The gray swallow began to go deeper. Zichen stayed here to harvest his own opportunities. The red fruit could improve the physical strength, so he needed more. Other than that, killing the Black Panther was the same. The third stage realm him wanted to give it a try. While being careful, Zichen walked to the other side to avoid being encountered by others. After all, it was already very tiring to fight a Black Panther one-on-one. If someone was eyeing him covetously, it would be dangerous. After going deeper, Zichen found a Black Panther. He didn't choose to avoid it. Instead, he faced it head-on. The Black Panther pounced forward. Zichen's eyes flashed coldly and his hands quickly formed seals. One after another, array seals appeared in front of him. From gravity to binding, one after another, they formed dozens of rays of light that landed on the Black Panther's body. The Black Panther's momentum slowed down. Die! At this moment, killing intent flashed in Zichen's eyes. The slaughter spirit flew out. It accelerated 3 times and pierced the Black Panther's head before it could react. Pfft. Chapter 5265. The Black Panther died in front of Zichen, and it was a rather easy kill. Zichen walked forward and broke open the man's head. He found a red crystal. He was only at the 3rd level of the Law Annihilation realm, but he could easily kill a 6th level existence. Besides his own battle strength, the main reason was because Zichen had obtained the inheritance of the Tao of Divine Marks and the Massacre Spirit. The Massacre Spirit had absorbed too much killing intent, and its grade had been raised again and again. It was because of its sharpness that it could easily pierce through the Black Panther's head. If it was any other weapon, it might not even be able to pierce through its flesh. Successfully killing a Black Panther gave Zichen a boost of confidence, and he began to slowly venture deeper. In other places, after a short battle, the Spirit Clan and Mantis demons who came here all headed deeper. They were very clear that under the circumstances where the heavenly laws could not enter, no Law Annihilation realm could take the opportunity for themselves. Even if it was a 9th level Law Annihilation realm. So now, it was better for them to search for their own opportunities. Lei Chi came out from a bush and 3 people followed behind him. Initially, there were 20 over people, but now there were only 4 of them left, and they were all in a sorry state. Damn it! Lei Chi's face was gloomy. The experts he brought out this time were all dead. When they returned, the Pure Land's power would be greatly reduced. He took a look at the 3 people behind him, and his heart was bleeding. Even his most capable steward was killed by a 6th-level Mantis demon. It's all Zichen's fault. If it wasn't for him, we wouldn't be in such a miserable state. One of them gritted his teeth. That's right, it's him. If it wasn't for him, how would we be in such a miserable state? The other 2 were filled with resentment. All of this was because Zichen had lured a 6th-level Black Panther, which caused them to be injured. This led to them suffering heavy losses after encountering the Mantis demons. If we meet again, I will not be merciful. Lei Chi's eyes were filled with murderous intent. I let him off mercifully last time, but I didn't expect him to be so ungrateful. Naturally, they would not put all the blame on themselves for not reporting to the headquarters in time. Our reinforcements are here. Let's go deeper. The group of 4 also began to delve deeper. It was unknown whether it was a coincidence or not, but after cautiously venturing a few dozen kilometers, they encountered Zichin. Both sides were stunned. Zichin had just killed a black panther and put away its corpse. Before he could start refining the red crystal, he saw 4 people. Swish! Swish! The 4 figures flashed and blocked Zichen's path. 4 people, 4 directions. They wanted Zichin to have nowhere to run. Zichin looked at them. Are you the only ones left? That's enough to kill you! Their eyes were filled with killing intent. Leichi also said indifferently, Zichin, I won't let you go this time. Zichin sighed and said, It's already like this. Why don't you find a place to hide? Why are you looking for trouble with me? Do you want to die? Among the 4 of them, other than Leichi, who was in the 5th stage realm, the other 3 were in the 4th stage realm. This kind of realm, when he was in the 2nd stage realm, he didn't even put him in his eyes. Not to mention now? Cut the crap, kill him! When enemies met, their eyes turned red. They couldn't hold it in any longer, and directly charged towards Zichin. The aura of the 4th stage realm exploded. The 3 of them activated their energy cores to the maximum, vowing to kill Zichin on the spot. A suppressive aura appeared in the forest. Since you want to die, then I'll send you on your way. Zichin stomped his feet, and the array seal appeared just like that. First, it was the gravity array. The 3 of them swayed and their center of gravity became unstable as their expressions changed. 1. The massacre spirit appeared, and like a bolt of lightning, it started to reap their lives. Pft! 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 Following the 3 sounds, the 3 of them fell one after another. Leichi had yet to make a move and the battle had already ended. He was stunned. Zichin looked at him and said indifferently, It's your turn. The array appeared again, and the light enveloped Leichi. Following that, the massacre spirit moved forward. Swoosh! It went straight for Leichi. At this moment, a strong light suddenly erupted around Leichi's body. That was a jade talisman. After the light enveloped his body, Leichi disappeared in the next moment. The massacre spirit missed its attack and returned to Zichen's side. You ran fast. Leichi was only in the 5th stage realm, so Zichin didn't care at all. The next time they met, he would just kill him. He took out the red crystal and began to refine it. The energy in it continued to strengthen his physical body. Zichin continued to get closer to the depths. He didn't know if it was because there were too many hybrid demons and spirit clans here that all the dangers here were attracted to the depths. On the way forward, Zichin almost didn't meet any existence stronger than the Black Panther. There were a few places with red fruits that no one cared about, which benefited him. In the process of refining the energy continued to enter his physical body. But Zichin realized that he didn't have any signs of breaking through. According to his estimation, when he was in the 10,000 spirit realm, his physical body was equivalent to the limit of the 9th level of spirit cultivation, and was only 1 step away from the spirit destruction realm. He should have reached this step a long time ago. But until now, he had refined quite a number of red fruits and red crystals, but he had not really broken through. But Zichin could feel that his physical body was much stronger than before he came here. Zichin clenched his fist and sensed carefully. He was a little distracted. A black panther crawled in the forest and slowly approached. It sensed Zichen's aura and also sensed danger. It carefully circled behind the human, and a cold light flashed in its eyes. It leaped and pounced towards the dazed Zichin. Sensing the danger, Zichin immediately turned and punched out. It was just a punch. It was a subconscious action. Bam! Who knew that when this punch landed, the Black Panther actually flew out? This? Zichin was slightly stunned. His fist was so powerful? The last time he punched, he was pushed back by the Black Panther. The Black Panther that landed on the ground was not injured. But it also sensed the strength of the human, and turned to flee into the distance. Zichen stood there and did not chase after it immediately. He was still in a state of shock. It seemed that although his physical body realm did not improve, his physical combat strength had greatly increased. This gave him even more confidence in entering the depths of the mountain. After that, Zichen increased his speed and tried to pick up some benefits. After all, there were more opportunities there. Casually picking up a bargain was a great opportunity for his realm. Zichen successfully arrived at the depths. Just as he arrived here, he felt a powerful fluctuation. There were no less than 10 battles that made him feel threatened. Zichen carefully went forward, wanting to bypass a few battles and go to the depths to take a look. Suddenly he saw a golden fruit on the cliff. Chapter 52-66. The moment he saw the golden fruit, Zichen's eyes were attracted. At this moment, the battle was ongoing and no one noticed this scene. Or rather, even if they noticed it, they wouldn't have the time to go forward. Thus, Zichen rushed forward without hesitation. Such an opportunity was too rare. His eyes were fixed on the fruit. It was getting closer and closer. At such a close distance, he could feel the powerful energy contained in the fruit more and more clearly. His physical body seemed to be moving at this moment. I can definitely break through. At this moment, Zichen's eyes were firm. He was very sure that once he obtained the golden fruit, his physical body that had been unable to break through for a long time would be able to take another step forward. Zichen wasn't sure what realm his physical body would be at after advancing. But just now, his physical body was already very strong. Once he broke through, he would definitely be stronger. The golden fruit was already in front of him. Boom! Suddenly, a powerful aura came from the side. It was a 6th-level Dharma Extermination Realm Mantis Demon. He slapped down with his palm. He also saw the golden fruit and wanted to snatch it. Get lost! The other party roared and jumped over. Zichen glanced at the Mantis Demon and naturally wouldn't back down. He clenched his right fist and activated the core of his strength. He punched out. Dong! With a loud bang, the Mantis Demon's attack was shattered by Zichen's punch. His figure swayed slightly and fell from the sky. The next moment, he tapped his foot and charged forward again. The 6th-level Mantis Demon was a little surprised. After all, he was only at the 3rd level of the Spirit Spell Realm, and he actually blocked his attack. Courting death! Seeing Zichen soar into the air again and head straight for the golden fruit, he roared loudly and slammed his palm down. In the sky, black gas rolled. A palm print formed and fell down. Zichen raised his head to look at the sky. In the next moment, the space there began to distort, and a 100-meter-tall array appeared. The array was spinning and a vast aura surged. Buzz! A rainbow light flew out from it, and went straight for the palm print in the sky. The black palm print fell and easily shattered the rainbow light. But then, more rainbow lights went straight for the sky. Powerful energy surged, and the palm print shattered. At this moment, Zichen was less than 20 feet away from the golden fruit. Suddenly, his expression changed, and he immediately retreated. A huge fist smashed down from the side. With a loud boom, the mountain shattered and a deep crater appeared. On the other side, another Yimo appeared. His aura was even more terrifying. He was a 7th-stage realm cultivator. He swept a glance at Zichen. Scram! The sound waves spread out in all directions, carrying some kind of strange attack. Zichen's body swayed and he almost fell. Just a single roar was already so powerful. If they were to face each other head-on, Zichen would have no chance of winning. However, the golden fruit was only a few dozen feet away. Retreat just like that? Zichen sensed with his soul power that there were other people approaching. Whatever! He gritted his teeth and quickly moved forward. You are courting death! The Mantis Demon at the 7th level of the Law Annihilation Realm shouted. A powerful aura surged out. He punched out again. His fist drew out a ray of light, charging towards Zichen. An array appeared in front of Zichen, forming a protection. Boom! The array shattered and a powerful aura engulfed Zichen. Zichen had no choice but to slide several feet to the side. But he tapped his feet and moved forward again. As he charged forward, Zichen's hands started to form seals. One! 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 With Zichen's route as the starting point, array after array appeared on both sides. These arrays were all shining brightly, and they were all protection arrays. Looking from afar, Zichen seemed to be enveloped by numerous arrays, as he passed through the arrays. This scene attracted quite a number of people's attention. After all, those who came here were all high-leveled existences, and a third-stage realm cultivator was extremely eye-catching. Now that he had created such a huge commotion, it attracted quite a number of gazes. Zhou swept a glance in this direction, but didn't say anything. On the other side, Hui Yan, who was on the battlefield, had a glint of surprise in his eyes. He knew that Zichen was an expert in arrays, but he had not expected that the other party's attainments in arrays were so high. There were so many arrays, as though they were at his fingertips. And his defense was indeed not bad, at least much better than those of the same level. Boom! 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 The sevenfold Yimo's attacks landed, and the arrays shattered one after another. Zichen evaded the attacks one after another, as he charged forward with all his might. Die! That sixth-stage Dharma annihilation blocked in front of Zichen, as a cold murderous intent flashed past his eyes. His energy core suddenly glowed, as a terrifying aura spread out in all directions. His eyes gradually turned red, as he had already used his strongest strength. Zichen's array started to shake, showing signs of collapsing. The other party hadn't even made a move, but he had already attracted such a powerful aura. Zichen's expression changed slightly, but he didn't reduce his speed. He only changed his direction slightly. In the meantime, more and more arrays appeared under his feet, causing Zichen's speed to increase continuously. With a speed that shocked the sixth-stage Dharma annihilation Yimo, he circled around the other party, and then went straight for the golden fruit. Just as Zichen was about to reach out and grab the fruit, boom! An even more powerful and violent aura surged from the side. The sevenfold Yimo had also arrived. Behind him, a tall demonic figure appeared, looking down at Zichen indifferently like a demon god. The protective arrays around Zichen exploded one after another. Just the aura alone was enough to make all of his defenses useless. Zichen's expression changed greatly, as he felt the power of the sevenfold Yimo even more deeply. But now, the golden fruit was right in front of him, so he naturally wouldn't retreat. Resisting the oppressive aura, Zichen instantly pierced through dozens of protective arrays, and at the same time, he activated all of his strength. Whoosh! He was like a bolt of lightning, as the arrays under his feet accelerated many times, and he went straight for the golden fruit. Boom! Boom! Wherever Zichen passed, the ground collapsed, and the arrays collapsed. He leaped up and grabbed the golden fruit. He took it away directly. At this moment, the demonic figure approached and slapped down. In Zichen's perception, it was as if the sky had collapsed, and the world was dark. In the distance, Hui Yan and Zhou expressions changed. If he couldn't dodge this attack, he would die. It seemed that Zichen was about to die in the demonic hand. Zichen calmly formed hand seals, and a light flickered under his feet, and an array appeared again. Then it enveloped his body. In the next moment, Zichen's figure disappeared. A teleportation array. Although the distance was very short, it was enough to save his life. Dozens of feet away, Zichen's figure appeared. The place where he was just now exploded, and a powerful airwave spread here, sending Zichen, who had just appeared, flying. Puff! Zichen, who landed on the ground, coughed out a mouthful of blood. However, his face was filled with smiles. Because he had obtained the fruit, it was time to run. Shwa! 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 Thus, everyone saw Zichen stepping on the spirit array and moving forward. With every step, an acceleration array would appear under his feet, and he didn't care about the energy consumption at all. Chapter 52-67. Zichen ran away. Like a ray of light, he disappeared in a blink of an eye. The others were all stunned. They had not expected that third stage realm to succeed. He snatched the golden fruit from a sixth stage realm and a seventh stage realm. To the two of them, this was undoubtedly a slap to their faces. The sixth stage realm roared and chased after him. He was not resigned to it. A look of hesitation flashed past the seventh stage realm's face, and he turned to the next direction. Not knowing what considerations he had, he didn't chase after him. Die! The sixth stage realm's voice rang from behind. He couldn't possibly let a third stage realm obtain that golden fruit so easily. Because his physical body had reached the critical moment of breaking through. Zichen turned his head and took a look behind him. The other party had chased after him. He tapped his feet and his figure soared into the sky. At the same time, his hands formed a seal, and just as his figure landed, an array appeared. Zichen stepped on the array and the array exploded with a strong light as he borrowed the force to move forward. From the looks of it, Zichen seemed to be able to fly in the sky as he borrowed the force from the array again and again. His speed was extremely fast. Looking for death! The sixth stage realm mantis demon punched out. The array shattered and Zichen had already flown out. He dashed outside. Because with this golden fruit, breaking through shouldn't be a problem. He wasn't greedy and that was enough. Whoever knew that the sixth stage mantis demon chased after him relentlessly, which made Zichen slightly frustrated. The reason why he didn't kill the other party directly was because he was worried that the seventh stage realm mantis demon would follow him. He didn't have the confidence to go against that kind of existence. Hence, he clenched his teeth and swallowed the golden fruit directly. Look, I've already eaten it. There's no more. Zichen turned his head and said to the other party. Golden rays kept flowing out from the corners of his mouth. When the sixth stage realm mantis demon saw this, he was infuriated as he roared and charged forward. Zichen looked at the surroundings but didn't discover that seventh stage realm mantis demon. In his soul sense, he didn't sense that person's presence. Zichen still didn't dare to be careless. After all, so many people had seen him reap the benefits, and if they secretly followed him, it would be troublesome. Zichen continued to escape. While he was escaping, he was also refining the fruit's energy. Multitasking. The golden fruit turned into surging energy and directly entered his body, turning into pure energy. His fleshly body was growing stronger. However, even more power was converging towards Zichen's heart. Zichen's heart was special to begin with. At this moment, as the physical power entered his body, his heart that had been dormant for many years seemed to have awakened once again, and began to beat vigorously. Dong! With every beat, a surge of power surged out. Dong! Dong! It sounded like a drum in the forest, stirring up ripples. The sixth stage realm mantis demons who were chasing after them also detected this abnormality. Looking at the ripples that surged out from Zichen's body, a hint of disbelief appeared in his eyes. This is the power of the Dharma Annihilation True Body. Impossible! He is merely at the third level of the Dharma Extermination realm. How could he possibly condense the power of the Dharma Extermination True Body? He was now in the sixth stage realm and had yet to condense out the power of Spell Annihilation True Body. How could a mere third-degree realm spirit clan member possibly achieve such a feat? The bodies of the spirit race were weak to begin with. Dong! Suddenly, there was a loud tremor in front of them, and a visible ripple spread out in all directions. With Zichen as the center, all the ancient trees within a radius of 100 feet were snapped. At this moment, Zichen's body burst out with an intense light. However, the most eye-catching thing was still the position of his heart. A golden heart seemed to be about to rush out of his body, bursting with a glaring golden light and beating violently. With every beat, a powerful force spread out. The core of the real body! The sixth stage realm mantis demon revealed a shocked expression. This is the core of the real body! He actually condensed the core of the real body. The core of the real body was equivalent to an energy core, but it was of a higher grade and harder to condense. This was the ultimate display of physical strength. With this core of the real body, as long as the heart did not shatter, it was equivalent to having endless physical strength. This was also the dream of all cultivators. Damn it! This was originally my opportunity! The sixth-stage realm mantis demon was enraged. He thought that all this originated from the golden fruit, and felt that Zichen had snatched his opportunity, so this core of the real body should be his. I'm going to kill you! He roared and charged towards Zichen. As long as he refined the other party now, he would be able to obtain the core of the real body. Just at this moment, Zichen turned around. During this escape, he was sure that the seventh-stage realm mantis demon did not follow him. A mere sixth-stage realm mantis demon wanted to kill him? A look of disdain flashed past his eyes and he clenched his fists tightly. In the heart that was glowing, a golden energy immediately circulated within his body and his fist lit up with a golden light. The mantis demon had already lost his mind and charged over. Zichen punched out. Golden light flashed. The next moment, the fist light exploded in the forest. Boom! A tyrannical aura spread out and the mantis demon who charged forward was sent flying. At this moment, he instantly sobered up. No matter what realm the other party was in previously, now that he had obtained the core of the real body, he was not someone he could go against. Even if he had just condensed the energy core. A look of terror flashed past his eyes and he wanted to escape. Swoosh! Zichen closed in and punched out for the second time. Like a sudden thunder explosion, the mantis demon's body was deeply embedded into the ground. Several of his ribs were broken and blood kept flowing out from the corners of his mouth. At this moment, he looked at Zichen with eyes filled with terror. He wanted to beg for mercy. Zichen punched out again, not giving him a chance to open his mouth. A boom sounded again. After 3 punches, the sixth-stage realm mantis demon no longer had any signs of life. Zichen kept the other party's body and at this moment, the breakthrough was still in progress. The energy between heaven and earth kept converging towards him. Zichen leaped and came to a large tree. He then sat down cross-legged and started to absorb the energy between heaven and earth. At this moment, all the energy was converging towards his heart. Just like the energy core condensed in abdomen when he advanced to the law extermination realm, the same energy appeared in his heart at this moment. In the end, his heart turned into a ray of light. It was like a golden gemstone which was exceptionally dazzling. A tyrannical physical strength flowed through his body. Thump! With every beat of his heart, a powerful energy would enter his limbs and bones. At the same time as it provided him with energy, it was also strengthening his bones. Zichen clenched his right hand into a fist and could clearly feel the powerful energy. The light in his heart gradually faded. Zichen stood there and quietly felt the power in his body. According to the original plan, after Zichen obtained the golden fruit, he would leave immediately. But now that his physical body had become so powerful, Zichen had another idea. For example, should he go in and take a look? Just to take a look. After all, he had the massacre spirit and Dao's sword. If he just wanted to take a look, it should not be a problem. After this idea appeared in his mind, Zichen decided to go in deeper. Chapter 5268. Zichen came to the depths again. The battle here was still ongoing. Zichen appeared to be very careful. During this time, no one noticed his appearance. After so long, almost all the opportunities here had fallen into the hands of others. There were not many opportunities left. Currently, there were people fighting for them. Everyone here was extremely powerful, so of course, Zichen did not dare to step forward. After bypassing a few battlefields, Zichen walked towards the deepest part. He wanted to try his luck. The battle here was even louder. He saw Zhou Ho from afar. The other party was fighting with a hybrid demon. Both of them were at the 9th level of the Law Destruction realm. This was already the peak of the Law Destruction realm. The fluctuations of their battle affected an area of dozens of miles. In Zichen's perception, the thing the two of them were fighting for was also a fruit. This fruit was blue. It was even more extraordinary than the golden fruit he obtained back then. Perhaps it was something that could help him break through. Otherwise, the two of them would not fight. Zichen did not dare to stay here for too long. He bypassed this place and continued forward. However, there was nothing in the depths. If it was a pure land, there should be a pure land core. But where was the pure land core here? Could it be that someone had already obtained it? You're quite surprising. Suddenly, a voice sounded from the side. Zichen suddenly turned his head and saw Huiyan. After obtaining something, you didn't run away. Instead, you came back. Huiyan looked at Zichen from head to toe. You're quite greedy, Zichen said. I'm just here to take a look. Huiyan snorted. Taking a look will cost you your life. Who obtained the Pure Land core here? Zichen asked curiously. No one has succeeded so far. Gray Swallow scanned the surroundings. This Heavenly Law level Pure Land is different from the Law Annihilation level. The core here is hidden. If you want to find it, other than strength, it depends more on luck. Huiyan, who was speaking, was also looking around as if looking for the core. When Zichen heard this, his eyes lit up. In that case, this Pure Land core had not been discovered by anyone yet. He still had a chance. Huiyan glanced at Zichen and said, What? Do you have an idea? Zichen said. Since it's a test of luck, maybe I'll be lucky. Huiyan rolled his eyes. Like I said before, other than strength, it also depends on luck. Let's not talk about luck first. Do you have the ability? I don't, but you do, Zichen said. We can work together. I'll use my luck, and you'll use your strength. Huiyan looked at Zichen as if he was looking at an idiot. Aren't you afraid that I'll kill you? Snatching things by yourself? Zichen said in surprise. That can't be, right? We are all from the spirit race, Huiyan said unhappily. Those people you encountered before were also from the spirit race. How did they treat you? Zichen said. It's not the same. Those people can't even be considered astrals. They're just trash. Huiyan said. Even if I don't kill you, the others won't let you go. She pointed at the surroundings. You were lucky to be able to come here and snatch a fruit. But this time, it's not as simple as luck. Zichen looked at Huiyan in confusion. Huiyan continued. Right now, who knows how many pairs of eyes are watching this place in the dark? We're just waiting for Zhou Ho and the hybrid demon to decide the victor. The fact that you were able to come here unimpeded is actually because everyone turned a blind eye to it. There was one thing that Huiyan did not say. In the eyes of others, Zichen was just an ant, so they did not care. But if an ant discovered the core of the Pure Land, it would naturally be destroyed. Zichen finally understood. It was no wonder that along the way, there were not as many people as before. He looked into the distance. The commotion there gradually disappeared. The victor should have been decided. The greatest opportunity should be around here. Huiyan walked forward. Zichen followed beside her. This time, the strongest person on the Alliance's side is Zhou Ho. Everyone is led by him. Huiyan said as they walked. So, once the core area is discovered, everyone will appear. At that time, there will definitely be a huge battle. After saying that, Huiyan looked at Zichen. Her meaning was obvious. It was still not too late to leave now. If the core area appeared, only death awaited. Zichen said, I'll just take a look here. I won't be rash. Seeing Zichen's insistence, Huiyan did not say anything else. After all, the two of them had no relationship. The reason why she took care of Zichen was because someone asked her to. Zichen's soul power spread out and sensed the surroundings. Naturally, he did not gain anything. After all, there were so many people here who had all sensed it. And their levels were all higher than his. Suddenly Zichen paused. He recalled the scene when he found the teleportation formation to the 10,000 spirit realm. It was a type of spirit guidance divine rune. In Zichen's opinion, this should be just a small thing. However, this world had long collapsed. Many things from back then had been lost. Any array that Zichen casually displayed could possibly be a lost array. So this spirit guidance divine rune could possibly be lost. Thinking of this point, Zichen decided to give it a try. Seeing Zichen stop, Huiyan looked at him suspiciously. Zichen said, I have a method, perhaps we can try it out. Huiyan gave a faint smile when she heard that. Up to you. There were so many people here but they couldn't find the entrance. What more a mere third-stage realm cultivator? Zichen received the other party's instructions and started to form seals. As the seals landed, rays of light scattered in all directions. After these lights appeared, they swept towards the distance like spiritual snakes. They dissipated in a radius of 500 feet. Naturally, there was nothing. Huiyan took a look and her expression didn't change much. Zichen walked forward and formed seals again. Earlier when the spirit guidance divine rune appeared, he had already started to search. This proved that this method was feasible. However, it could only extend to a radius of 500 feet. So if Zichen wanted to find the core, he would need to search one place at a time. When he reached the next place, he continued to form seals but there was still no result. Huiyan followed behind Zichen and looked at Zichen's useless actions in boredom. He walked and walked. Zichen had already walked 7,000 feet. Even if it was the bored Huiyan, seeing Zichen repeating his actions over and over again, she was also a little tired. I say, stop wasting your energy. Wait for Zhouho's battle to end, then we can all search together. The more people there are, the more strength there is. Huiyan turned around and looked behind. Looking at the fluctuation of this aura, the battle should be ending soon. Suddenly, there was an abnormal fluctuation in front. All the lights were converging towards a certain spot. The next moment, an entrance appeared at the spot where the infinite lights were converging. Huiyan sensed the movement and turned around to take a look. She was immediately shocked. Heavens, you really found it! Just at that moment, an infinite amount of pressure swept over. The existences in the dark also saw this scene and started to reveal themselves. Zichen turned his head and said, Let's go quickly! Huiyan subconsciously moved forward. Chapter 5269. Huiyan was very surprised to find the entrance to the core. Zichen had already entered in a flash. The pressure in the surroundings immediately increased, and at least dozens of auras locked onto this place. There were powerhouses heading this way. Forget it! Huiyan gritted her teeth and followed. Her figure flickered and entered as well. This space was not small, and the spirit power it filled was getting more and more turbulent. If she could stay here forever, her cultivation would definitely improve again. And at the center of it was the greatest opportunity in this place. Hundreds of crystals floated, emitting a dazzling light. These were law crystals. To be precise, they should be heavenly law-level law crystals. Each one was so bright that it could steal one's soul, attracting Huiyan's gaze the moment they arrived. However, in this core area, the most worthless thing was this kind of law crystal. Huiyan's gaze continued to move, and she saw a long saber. The blade was black and carried an oppressive aura. She could feel the pressure from it even from afar. A weapon that could appear here was naturally heavenly law level. This was a true supreme treasure. Beside it was a golden piece of paper that was emitting light. It was obviously not an ordinary item. Huiyan felt that his eyes were no longer enough. That was because these two things were too eye-catching. Then, she saw a ball of light. It floated there, changing in the air as if it contained a living thing that could jump out at any time. This is the origin of heavenly law! Looking at that ball of light, Huiyan's eyes had a strange light. Once she obtained it, she would definitely be able to advance a level 9 Dharma Destroyer to heavenly law level. It could be said that this was a treasure second only to the core of the Pure Land. As expected, the core of the Pure Land was next to the origin of heavenly law. At this moment, if a level 9 Dharma Destroyer came and took all the things here, his future achievements would definitely be limitless. Unfortunately, it was Zichen who came. Thinking of Zichen, her gaze began to move, wanting to find Zichen. Zichen came in front of the opportunities. Looking at so many opportunities, he did not take any action, as if he was stunned. At this moment, a terrifying aura appeared from behind. The other powerhouses came in one after another. "Stop! Get lost! Put down my things! If you dare to move, I will definitely kill you!" A cold voice rang out. It was filled with intimidation and threat. Zichen, who was standing there, turned around and glanced behind him. There were quite a lot of people here. One expert after another came in and headed straight in that direction. "Go away!" Seeing this, Hui Yan immediately reminded him. Speaking of which, based on the current situation, even if she was in the 8th stage realm, she didn't dare to stay there. Once everyone focused their attacks on him, Zichen would definitely be reduced to ashes. Buzz! Another powerful aura had appeared. It was Zhou Ho. He had arrived just in time, and when he saw the scene before him, he couldn't help but frown. Behind them, the 9th-level hybrid demon entered as well. Zichen glanced at the two of them from afar, and then revealed a smile to the crowd. He made his move amidst the curses. Instead of taking the opportunity, he stretched out his hand and sent it flying. The black saber was sent flying by Zichen's palm. The weapon was like a stream of light, disappearing in the blink of an eye. When the people who were heading in that direction saw this, they were all infuriated. But at this moment, they couldn't be bothered about Zichen, and immediately changed their direction. Zichen continued to make his move, sending the golden paper in the opposite direction of the weapon. Following that was the Heaven Law Origin, which was also sent flying by Zichen. Next was the Pure Lance Core. Every time he sent out an item, Zichen's heart would bleed. But there was no other way. If he kept these items in his hands, the only thing waiting for him was death. He had discovered this place, and in the end, he was killed, so naturally it wasn't worth it. After sending these valuable items flying, Zichen continued to make his move, sending those Heaven Law Grade Law crystals flying one by one. One piece after another. Seeing the resources in front getting lesser, the number of people chasing after Zichen also decreased. After Zichen sent the last piece of Law crystal flying, there was no one who went to find trouble with Zichen. The crowd dispersed. The area beside Zichen was already empty. Hui Yan was already stupefied. It had never seen such a person before, giving away so many treasures without even blinking. But looking at the current situation, she had no choice but to admit that Zichen was decisive. Anyone who was greedy by just a little bit would definitely die. Swoosh! No one paid any more attention to Zichen. Zichen also dashed over, heading straight for the exit. Some people saw this scene but didn't pay much attention to it. Killing a mere 3rd stage realm cultivator or missing out on the opportunity, this choice wasn't difficult. Zichen dashed out directly. Hui Yan stood there without moving. This time around, there were several 9th stage decimation realm cultivators who had entered. It wasn't easy for an 8th stage realm cultivator like her to gain anything. "Let's go quickly!" Zichen pulled Hui Yan, who was in a daze, and ran towards the exit of the passageway. Hui Yan regained her senses and exerted her strength, bringing Zichen away. After all, her speed was slightly faster. No one stopped the both of them, and they successfully left the core grounds. After they came out, Zichen reacted. "Do you want to go in and help?" Hui Yan shook her head. Those who came here, their life and death were fated so naturally she didn't need to do anything. Zichen asked again, did Hui Yan want to go and fight for the opportunity? The other party shook her head again. After that, the both of them headed towards the outside. Along the way, they discovered some opportunities which Hui Yan didn't care about. Zichen was only in 3rd stage realms, so he didn't have the right to despise them. Therefore, Zichen began to collect all the fortuitous opportunities that he could find in a sweeping manner. Along the way, he met mantis demons and killed them on the spot. Suddenly, Zichen turned around and took a look behind him. Earlier on, he sensed a murderous intent. Hui Yan said, "He doesn't dare to come over." Her tone was calm but certain. It was that 7th stage realm mantis demon who had been following behind them. If it wasn't for the fact that Zichen was accompanied by the 8th stage realm Hui Yan, the other party would definitely kill his way over. The both of them walked to the edge of the area and left the place. Walking outside, Zichen sensed a terrifying aura. Raising his head, he saw two people standing in the sky. One was from the Spirit Clan and the other was Mantis Demon. This was the Heaven Law realm, an existence that could ignore the wasteland's laws and pressure, and could walk in the sky. As the both of them appeared, the gazes of the two above landed on them. Hui Yan, how's the situation inside? The Spirit Clan's Heaven Law asked. He recognized Hui Yan. Hui Yan bowed towards the sky and said, I'm still fighting for the last opportunity. There are quite a number of 9th stage realms, so I came out first. The Spirit Clan's Heaven Law nodded and didn't say anything else. Zichen stood by the side. Apparently, no one cared about a mere 3rd stage realm mantis extermination. Zichen said, Why don't we go back first? Go back where? Hui Yan asked. 10,000 spirits pure land, that's my place. Zichen obviously didn't want to stay in this place any longer. Even though he had knocked away all of his treasures, he was still able to do so. But since they had passed through his hands, even if he couldn't get any benefits, at least he could get some benefits, right? Chapter 5270. Hui Yan looked at Zichen in surprise. Why are you in such a hurry? Can't you wait for everyone to come out together? Zichen said. If we come out, the opportunity will be taken by others. What does it have to do with you and me? Can't we use this time to strengthen ourselves? Hui Yan pointed to the side. You can cultivate here. With that person up there, no one will dare to hurt you here. Zichen was speechless. Why couldn't this woman understand him? However, if Hui Yan did not leave, Zichen did not dare to leave alone. If he was not careful, he might be robbed along the way. Therefore, he could only sit down cross-legged and take out a spirit flower to refine. In this situation, he could not expose too many of his trump cards, including his recently advanced physical body. People came out one after another. Some of them looked vexed as if they had gained nothing. Some of them had joy on their faces. They must have gained a lot. However, it was not accurate to judge their gains from their expressions. Perhaps some people had gained a lot but pretended that they had gained nothing. Zichen was cultivating while Hui Yan stared at the people who came out. The spirit race and mantis demons who came out took the initiative to split into two factions. They each returned to their own Heaven Dharma realm subordinates and looked at each other with hostility. Inside, both sides had already fought. Those who could come out now were all lucky to survive. Lei Qi was also in the crowd. He had gained almost nothing and had been running and hiding in a sorry state. When he saw Zichen, his eyes immediately flashed with hatred. When enemies met, their eyes turned red. Kid, I'll teach you a lesson later. After refining a spirit herb, Zichen suddenly opened his eyes and said, Are you coming or not? If not, I'll go back first. He felt Lei Qi's killing intent. He also felt killing intent from some of the mantis demons and spirit race people. Therefore, he could not stay here. Hui Yan was stunned when she heard that. She thought for a moment and said, All right then, let's go together. The two turned and left. Lei Qi looked at their backs and his eyes turned colder. After leaving the burial ground, the two sped up and headed straight for the 10,000 spirits pure land. Hui Yan was clearly also very curious about that pure land. When she arrived at the 10,000 spirits pure land and sensed the spiritual energy here, a hint of surprise flashed across her eyes. The spiritual energy here is really good. She glanced at Zichen. Of course, she knew that this was mainly because of the array formation. This was because the realms in this pure land were not high. Zichen led the gray swallow deeper into the forest. Hui Yan's soul power had already spread out. In her perception, there were 9th-level spirit spells everywhere. Even she was a little surprised by this number. No wonder those people targeted Zichen. Such a place was equivalent to a piece of fatty meat. Presumably, everyone would want to come and take a bite. Zichen brought Hui Yan to his residence. After entering, Zichen took out a piece of law crystal and handed it to Hui Yan. When Hui Yan saw the crystal, his eyes immediately widened. He found it inconceivable. Heavenly law tier? Zichen said. Are you surprised? Those resources have all passed through my hands, so it's only right for me to keep one or two. Back then, the other resources were very little, and everyone saw it. But the law crystal was different. There were over 100 pieces. Even if one or two were missing, no one would care. You're giving this to me? Huyen looked at Zichen. Zichen smiled. You escorted me back, so it's naturally for you. Huyen said. You didn't have to give it to me. Anyway, I didn't know that you hid it. Speaking of which, you taking it out now means that you definitely have more on you. Aren't you afraid that I'll kill you here and steal all the crystals? When Zichen heard this, he smiled bitterly. I say, big sister, what do you take me for? In front of so many powerhouses, it's already very impressive to be able to hide 2 crystals. Now that I've already given you one, there shouldn't be a need for you to silence me for the other one, right? Humph! Huyen snorted. Not to mention 2, even if it's 20, this lady won't fancy it. As she spoke, she took the crystal from Zichen's hand. But you're right. This is my reward for escorting you. If I don't take it, you'll definitely feel uneasy. Zichen pursed his lips. What? You don't like it? Of course not. I just feel that you're right. After taking away the Heaven Law crystal, Huyen was in a good mood. It could be said that she had gained something. What do you plan to do next? Zichen looked at Huyen. Huyen didn't answer and asked back. Are you planning to chase me away? Zichen hurriedly said. Of course not. If you can stay here, I can't ask for anything more. Because in less than 5 days, trouble will definitely come knocking. What kind of trouble? Huyen asked. Back then, many people saw me giving away all the resources, but not everyone will believe it like you. So, there will definitely be people coming to investigate. Zichen said. Moreover, that guy called Lei Qi hates me to the bone. He might cause some trouble. Huyen said. I see. 1 Heaven Law crystal and I'll help you deal with it. Zichen didn't hesitate and took out 1. Huyen saw this and said. You didn't take 2, you liar. Big sister, you just said that you don't care about 20. Now it's only 2. Why are you so anxious? Humph. Who cares? But I said I'll help you with 1, so I'll help you with 1. Huyen said. Even if you give me more, I won't take it. Zichen gave her a thumbs up. Generous. Then he pointed to the side. What? Huyen didn't understand. Your residence is over there. This meant that he was chasing her away. Huyen didn't care. After all, she took 2 Heaven Law crystals. Besides, she couldn't stay at Zichen's place. After Huyen left, Zichen started cultivating. What he took out was shockingly Heavenly Law crystals. After Lei Qi returned to the Pure Land, he felt more and more indignant. So, he went to find a big shot. Speck! At that time, it was he who led the team to kill Zichen, but he was stopped by Zhou Ho midway. Speck's expression changed slightly after hearing Lei Qi's words. Are you sure? I'm 100% sure, Lei Qi said solemnly. I saw him enter the core area with my own eyes. Moreover, he was the first to come out. After that, he slipped away quietly. I don't believe that he didn't get anything. Lei Qi looked at Speck's changing expression and said, This time, there are a lot of resources in the Pure Land of Heavenly Law. Although you missed it, you can make up for it if you go find Zichen. Okay, then let's go find him. Speck said. It just so happens that the matter of him killing my people last time hasn't been resolved. With that, Speck got up. Find a reason to go find Zichen. Okay, I'll arrange it right away. Chapter 5271. In the room, Zichen was preparing to cultivate. He had obtained a lot of resources this time, but there were not many resources that could help him break through. The spirit herbs and fruits from before were no longer of much use to him at his current level. Therefore, as soon as Huyen left, Zichen called Su Mengyao over. Then, he handed all the resources he obtained this time to Su Mengyao, including the mantis demons and the ancestral beast corpses. Zichen did not have time to deal with these things. After handing them to Su Mengyao, she could arrange for others to deal with them. Those that were useful to them could all be kept. Those that were useful to Zichen would be sent over soon. Now, Zichen had nothing on him again. After coming to this unfamiliar world, he had no foundation to use. In addition, there was a group of people behind him, so he obviously did not have enough resources. Now, all that was left were the heavenly law crystals that he obtained this time. But they were also the most valuable things. Zichen took out a piece of heavenly law crystal. Even after giving Huyen 2 pieces, Zichen still had 8 pieces on him. Therefore, Zichen kept a total of 10 pieces of those resources after passing through his hands. Sensing the surging energy in it, Zichen wanted to refine it. However, the energy in it was too terrifying. Before refining it, Zichen first dissected it. He waved his hand and a light appeared in front of him. It was like a fine net that moved forward. 1. The heavenly law crystal flickered a few times and then was cut into pieces. Each piece was about the size of a fingernail. Light shone in all directions like small gems. Zichen put away these small heavenly law crystals and prepared to refine one. Just as he calmed down and released his aura. 1. The core of the Pure Land sensed his realm aura and showed a strange reaction. To the people in this Pure Land, this scene was not strange at all. Looking at the rain in the sky, all of them were excited. Because many people could use this to break through. He broke through again? Okon walked out of the room. Looking at the energy light between heaven and earth, he sighed. It hadn't been long, but Zichen had broken through again. There was really no comparison between people. Thinking of him, after so many years, he was still in the first-degree realm. Huyen walked out of the room and looked at the strange phenomenon in the world. A hint of surprise appeared in her eyes. As expected, he's also a strange person. Cheers were heard all around. Everyone was excited. The people from the myriad spirit realm finally reached the harvest stage after being irrigated with energy. Buzz! A powerful aura appeared. This was the aura of the Spell Destroyer realm. This aura immediately spread out and covered the entire Pure Land. The people who felt this aura trembled. In the midst of breaking through, it was clear that those at the Law Destroyer realm were still unable to control their auras well, causing the pressure in the area to be exceptionally great. However, this was clearly not the end, but the beginning. It was as if someone had raised their head. Then, a tyrannical aura began to wreak havoc in this Pure Land. Buzz! The aura of the Dharma Extermination realm. Buzz! It was the aura of the Spell Destroyer realm. Buzz! 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 One after another, the aura of the Law Destroyer realm began to wreak havoc here. That oppressive power was shocking, causing people to cry out in surprise. Okon's expression changed once again. He looked at the area in the depths and muttered, "It's rising, this time it's really rising." Those 9th-level spirit realm cultivators who came at the beginning began to break through in batches. Huyen had long known about Zichen's uniqueness, so seeing the Pure Land's advancement, she was not too surprised. However, as the aura of the Law Destroyer realm emerged one after another, she was completely stunned. This was too terrifying. In the blink of an eye, the number of Law Destroyer realm cultivators was no less than 20. This was the first time she had seen such a scene of people breaking through together. The situation in the outside world did not affect Zichen. Because the Pure Land's advancement this time, the beneficiaries were everyone except him. However, after sensing that Monk and the rest had broken through, he was still very gratified. Becoming a Law Destroyer, one had the qualifications to own a Pure Land and could set up a base here. Of course, it would also become Zichen's help. It was not difficult to deliberately find trouble with Zichen. Therefore, under Lei Qi's operation, Spicer and the rest arrived outside Zichen's world. "Zichen, get out here and greet the Lord!" An indifferent voice came from the outside world into the Pure Land. The guard immediately went back to report this matter. Zichen had long sensed Lei Qi, but he did not care. Now that he had the headquarters token, he was already considered a member of the Alliance. He did not need to lower his head to anyone anymore. Get out here! Lei Chi was still roaring. Who dares to make a ruckus here? Get out! Monk carried his blade and walked out. After advancing to the first level of the Law Destroyer realm, he was in a good mood recently, and felt that he was not afraid of anything. Open your dog eyes wide and look carefully. We are from the Alliance. Ask Zichen to get out here. Lei Chi shouted angrily at Monk. Who do you think you are? How dare you ask Zichen to get out here? Monk was naturally not afraid of him. He said coldly, Don't blame me for not warning you. If you know what's good for you, get out of here quickly. Otherwise, if you get killed, you can't blame anyone else. As soon as he finished speaking, Monk suddenly felt a dangerous aura and quickly retreated. Whoosh! A sharp light appeared under his feet. The ground was directly split into two. If he had not reacted quickly, he would have been split into two. Damn it, how dare you! Monk glared at the crowd and then retreated without hesitation. Anyway, Zichen said that these people were not important. Cut the crap. Let's kill our way in. Spessa was infuriated by Monk's attitude. He waved his hand and stopped putting on airs. The group of people forced their way in. The guards had already run away when they saw that the situation was not good. There were more than 10 people in the group, and Spessa was the only one in the 7th level. Deep inside, Huyan looked at Zichen and said, Do you need me to do something? No. If the headquarters investigate, just remember to be my witness. With that, Zichen walked out. Who dares to behave atrociously in my pure land? His voice rang out. He flew through the air. He looked down indifferently at Spessa and the others below. Zichen, you killed innocent people of the Alliance. Why don't you come and face your death? Lei Chi raised the token in his hand and reprimanded Zichen. Zichen smiled faintly and the Alliance token appeared in his hand. See? It's the headquarters token. Your trick won't work anymore. Now get out of here, or don't blame me for being impolite. With the headquarters token, it was equivalent to having a protective talisman. Naturally, Zichen was not afraid of the others in the Alliance. In addition, Huyan was here, so he had absolute reason. So what if you have the headquarters token? Spessa glanced at Zichen and said, Is this why you killed innocent people? If so, don't blame me for cleaning up the house. As soon as he finished speaking, he leaped up and threw a punch at Zichen. His fist shone brightly, and a powerful aura surged. Who do you think you are? How dare you talk about cleaning up the house in front of me? Zichen sneered. Get out of here. An array appeared in the sky and immediately pressed down. The terrifying pressure was like a divine mountain pressing down on Speck's body. Spessa's body swayed, and he was a little unsteady. Chapter 52-72. This scene brought too great a shock to the crowd. Everyone found it hard to believe. How could a 7th-degree realm cultivator be trampled under his feet? In this pure land, although everyone knew that Zichen had broken through, they never thought that Zichen would have such terrifying combat power. As for Lei Chi and the others, they were even more shocked. What was going on? A 3rd-degree realm cultivator trampled a 7th-degree realm cultivator? I want you to die! Speck gritted his teeth and the power around him exploded. With a boom, the energy exploded and Zichen was thrown into the sky. Standing in the air, Zichen looked down at Speck with a cold expression. You scum of the Alliance have come to find trouble with me time and time again. Today I, Zichen, will let you scum know that no matter where you are, provoking me, Zichen, is equivalent to courting death. Buzz! In the sky, an array appeared and a terrifying pressure fell from above. A lotus flower began to rotate like a burning flame. A golden Buddha sat on top of the fire lotus. The light shone down from above. Not only did it cover Spicer, it also shrouded the people who came with him. Under such circumstances, it was impossible for them to escape. Die! As soon as Zichen finished speaking, it was as if his words were the law. A ray of light flew out from beside him, and went straight for the people below. Poof! 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 It was the killing spirit that began to reap the lives of the people. For a moment there were screams. How dare you attack the people of the Alliance? Lei Qi was horrified. Zichen was expressionless and attacked with all his might. Lei Qi mobilized the energy around him, but he obviously felt powerless. He shouted, Sir, help! Speck glanced at the sky and snorted. Golden Buddha Fire Lotus, you are very confident. With that, he rushed into the sky and struck out with his palm. A strong aura gathered in his palm. Zichen punched down and collided with Speck's attack. On the other side, Lei Qi was fighting against the slaughter spirits. Suddenly, several spirit matrices appeared around him. Being restrained by the formation, Lei Qi's expression changed drastically as fear flashed in his eyes. At this moment, he could only barely block the spirit of slaughter. But now, being restrained by the spirit design, it was a different story. Under the condition that his speed was affected, he could not block the attack of the spirit of massacre. Looking at the incoming slaughter spirit, he clenched his teeth. Ignoring everything else, he took out a jade talisman and wanted to escape. 1. After activating the jade talisman, his figure disappeared. However, in the next moment, he appeared at the edge of the area. He did not escape this place at all. Looking at his surroundings, Lei Qi's expression changed drastically as fear filled his eyes. He didn't understand why this would happen. However, he had wasted his most precious escape jade talisman, so his fate was obvious. The spirit of slaughter had arrived. My lord, save me! Lei Qi widened his eyes in despair as he watched the slaughter spirit approach. With a poof, the spirit of slaughter broke through his defense and pierced through his head. Lei Qi fell straight to the ground. He would never have thought that he would die here. Hui Yan restrained her aura and watched this scene from afar. Zichen's battle had shocked her. With the support of this spirit design, Zichen was almost invincible. In addition, this was his pure land, so he was completely invincible. Hui Yan felt that Speck did not have a high chance of winning against Zichen this time. There were rumbles ahead. Zichen was exchanging blows with Speck, causing a huge commotion. At this moment, all the people that Speck had brought had been killed. He was the only one left. Something's not right. Suddenly, Hui Yan's expression changed slightly. She discovered a problem. The current Zichen did not use the power of the Pure Land. He was evenly matched with Speck just by relying on his own strength. How is this possible? She felt that it was unbelievable. One must know that Speck was a true 7th-stage realm cultivator. His power was extremely strong. How could Zichen block him? It's his physical body! Hui Yan exclaimed. His physical body blocked Speck's attack. How can he have such a powerful physical body? Hui Yan was clearly in disbelief. At this moment, Zichen suddenly exerted force. He clenched his fist. The next moment, a blinding golden light suddenly exploded from his chest. Endless golden light shone as a powerful force emerged. Thump! Thump! It was his heart beating, but the power it triggered actually touched the Pure Land. It's the core of the true body. It's actually the core of the true body. Hui Yan's eyes were filled with disbelief. She was now at the 8th stage of the Dharma extermination realm, but she had not cultivated the core of the true body. Moreover, this kind of physical body technique had always been the spirit clan's weakness since ancient times. However, Zichen was merely at the 3rd stage of the Dharma extermination realm, yet he had successfully cultivated the core of the true body. Speck looked at Zichen's golden heart and was shocked. He said in disbelief, "You actually cultivated the core of the true body." Zichen laughed coldly. Core of the true body? No, this is called the immortal golden body. The immortal golden body was a cultivation technique that Zichen had obtained in the void of the myriad spirit realm. During that time, he had also obtained some golden body power. All this time, Zichen had possessed a powerful physical body. This had a lot to do with the fortuitous opportunities he had encountered in the past. However, The immortal golden body had not given Zichen a sense of familiarity until he obtained the core of the true body. It was just like when he first entered the palace and saw the sealed heart. Even though countless years had passed, it still contained great power. However, the golden heart that Zichen had condensed now also had great power. If it was in the myriad spirit realm, a mere tremor of the heart could kill a heaven-chosen realm cultivator. Next, my punch is called the Immortal Punch! As soon as he finished speaking, Zichen punched out. Boundless power gathered in his fist. Golden light shone resplendently. Speck's eyes widened. He seemed to see the sun crashing down from the sky. In an instant, everyone in this pure land closed their eyes. Because the light was too dazzling, if they didn't close their eyes now, they would probably go blind. The golden fist landed, carrying with it a hint of antiquity. It gave people a feeling of vastness and supremacy. The fist fell. The golden light dissipated. Everyone's vision returned to normal. They immediately looked forward. Zichen was still standing in the air. Speck stood there, motionless. At this moment, all the meridians in his body and all his vitality were destroyed by that punch. He was dead. One punch killed a 7th-stage cultivator. This was the power of the immortal golden body and the immortal punch. Today, Zichen's immortal golden body was just a beginner. It was hard to imagine how powerful the power was back then to be able to kill an existence with the immortal golden body. Chapter 5273. Speck was dead. He was killed by Zichen in one punch. That dazzling golden light was so blinding that they couldn't open their eyes. Everyone was shocked and found it unbelievable. A 3rd-stage realm actually killed a 7th-stage realm expert. But thinking about it carefully, it seemed that Zichen had been creating miracles ever since he became the master of the Pure Land. Zichen glanced at the corpse on the ground and waved his hand. Swoosh! Monk quickly went forward and was about to take the 7th-stage realm expert's corpse away. A black shadow was one step faster than him and picked up Speck's body first. Zhang Haotian, what do you mean? Monk was furious and glared at him. You won't be able to use these things. Zhang Haotian left in a flash. Devil Ape glanced at Monk before dragging Lei Qi's corpse away. They had to admit that they knew Monk too well. That greedy character of his had never changed after so many years. Okon retracted his gaze. At this moment, his eyes were filled with shock and regret. Because Zichen had offended the people from the Alliance, they weren't optimistic about the future of this place. So when they left, they sold almost half of their properties. Some even chose to give up on their own accord. But today, Zichen even killed a 7th-stage realm expert. In addition to that group of experts, this place was even more indestructible than the Thunderous Pure Land. Its future development was limitless. Of course, Okon didn't know that the owner of the Thunderous Pure Land was among those corpses. Zichen returned to his room and continued to refine the heaven-grade law crystal. The surging energy contained within was much higher than that of the heaven-grade law crystal. Not long after, Su Mingyao came with some resources. These were all things that Zichen could use, including the high-level law crystal. Huyen returned to her room. This time, she was also shocked. She had a new understanding of Zichen's combat strength. The next day, Zichen brought Lei Qi's Pure Land core over. He could kill people here, but he couldn't snatch Lei Qi's Pure Land. That would cause big trouble. Fortunately, Huyen was still here. With her status, it wasn't difficult to solve this matter. Huyen took the Pure Land core and didn't say anything. 2 days later, the Grey Swallow left. This kind of matter naturally had to be dealt with as soon as possible. If it was delayed for too long, it would be very disadvantageous for Zichen. After leaving Zichen's Pure Land, Huyen glanced into the distance and his expression changed. However, she didn't stay for long. She only smiled mockingly and left. In the direction she was looking at, there was a hidden fiend. The other party appeared to be very careful. Even though the Grey Swallow had left, he did not appear immediately. 2 days later, after confirming that Huyen was not coming back, he walked out and swaggered towards Zichen's Pure Land. With his cultivation base, he was like a king patrolling his territory. When the guard saw the other party, he shouted angrily, "Stop!" The hybrid demons glanced at the two of them. Just one look and this second-level spirit spell guard fell down. At this moment, someone just happened to come out. When he saw this scene, his expression changed greatly, and he ran out in panic. Mantis demons are invading!" His voice spread far and wide, causing a commotion. "Mantis demons dare to come here?" The devil ape happened to be nearby. When it heard this voice, it immediately headed towards the entrance. Just as it reached the entrance, a powerful aura swept over from the entrance. The devil ape, who was at the first level of the law destruction realm, was directly sent flying. "Brat, get out here!" The voice of the hybrid demon spread throughout this Pure Land. It was the 7th level law destruction realm who had competed with Zichen for the golden fruit. He didn't expect that he would not give up and chase here. Zichen heard the news and came out. When he saw the other party, he was happy. When the people who were panicking saw Zichen, they quickly calmed down. Although this level of existence was powerful, it wasn't like Lord Zichen hadn't killed one before. Zichen looked at the 7th level hybrid demon. "If you had come 2 days earlier, I might have played with you. But now forget it." After saying that, Zichen released his aura. 4th level of the law destruction realm. On the day Huiyan left, Zichen broke through again, and this Pure Land also leveled up. It had to be said that the energy contained in the heaven-grade law crystal was too vast. It allowed Zichen to break through in just a few days. Of course, other than Zichen, no one else could refine it like this. After all, the prerequisite was to have a body that wouldn't explode from the energy. The 4th level of the law destruction realm in addition to the suppression of the Pure Land. The hybrid demon had almost no reason to live. When the other party was suppressed, he felt that something was wrong and wanted to escape. In the end, the golden Buddha fire lotus appeared and cut off his escape route. In the end, accompanied by a scream, the massacre spirit took the other party's life. Another generous amount of resources was in his hands. Huiyan left Zichen's Pure Land and went to Lei Qi's Pure Land. Because of the death of the Pure Land's master, the spiritual energy in this Pure Land became chaotic. When she came, no one here knew what had happened. Huiyan went to find the other members of the Alliance, and told them about Lei Qi's death. After leaving the Pure Land's core, she left and went to the Alliance's encampment. She originally thought that this was just a small matter. It wasn't a big deal. But when she arrived at the Alliance's encampment, and was told about this, she knew that she was in big trouble. Speck's status wasn't low. She immediately went to find Zhou. When Zhou heard about this, his expression changed. "This matter is Speck's fault," Huiyan said. "I saw it with my own eyes. He used the Alliance's name to kill Zichen." Zhou frowned and said, "You can injure him, but you can't kill him. Even I only managed to scare him last time." Huiyan asked curiously, "Who exactly is he? Why didn't I know about it after so many years?" "He has a close relationship with the headquarters." Zhou glanced at Huiyan. "The reason why I didn't tell you was because I thought that you wouldn't have anything to do with him. I didn't expect you to kill him. It wasn't me. It was Zichen." "What? Zichen killed him? I didn't make a move at that time," Huiyan said. "Of course, if someone needs to take responsibility for this matter, I'll do it. Speaking of which, if Zichen couldn't kill him, I would have done it. Tell me what happened." Huiyan told him everything that happened in Zichen's Pure Land in detail. He actually condensed a true body core at the 3rd stage. "How amazing," Zhou said with a shocked expression. "Even I haven't succeeded yet," Huiyan said. "No matter what, Speck is the one at fault this time. We must protect Zichen. I'll think of a way." "You don't have to worry about it," Zhou said. "Go and cultivate. Try to break through to the next stage." Next, Zhou reported this matter to his superiors. Of course, there was also the cause and effect. Soon news came. They would no longer pursue the matter, but they would make up for their mistakes. Zhou-Ho also sent out a summons, asking Zichen to come to the Alliance's encampment. It only took 3 days for this order to reach the Pure Land where Zichen was located. Chapter 5274. Zichen went to the Alliance's encampment alone without bringing anyone with him. He did not know why the Alliance suddenly summoned him. After explaining some things to Su Mingyao, Zichen left. Along the way, he passed by the Leiqi Pure Land. Zichen did not enter but took a detour. At night, Zichen stayed in the wilderness. There was only a blood moon in the sky. Where his soul power touched, there were a few ancestral beasts foraging for food at night. Their realm was not high, only equivalent to the lowest level of spiritual technique, but it was enough to become a nightmare for most people. Even after so long, Zichen found it hard to imagine that the immortal spell world had become like this. It seemed that the fragments they saw in the void of the trial realm were probably the broken immortal spell world. He looked up at the blood moon. It was said that there was an upper realm here. He wondered if the situation would be better. An ancestral beast was foraging for food. It used its soul flame to sense the underground. As if it had found a target, it stopped somewhere and began to dig a hole. Swoosh! A person suddenly rushed out from the other side and quickly ran away. The ancestral beast caught up. That person was terrified, but he did not dare to shout, afraid that it would attract more ancestral beasts. Suddenly, he saw that there seemed to be a person in front of him. Those who dared to appear here at night were obviously extraordinary existences. He gritted his teeth and rushed forward. The ancestral beast that was chasing also saw Zichen. Its soul fire fluctuated strangely. Zichen turned his head and glanced at the ancestral beast. With just a glance, the ancestral beast turned around and ran. It had a keen sense of danger. That existence was stunned, then turned his head to look and found that the ancestral beast had already escaped. He bowed to Zichen and then drilled into the ground again. A ray of light flew out from Zichen's side and went straight to the fleeing ancestral beast. In the blink of an eye, the slaughter spirit returned with a ray of light of law. The light of law fell from above, right at the place where that person disappeared. Zichen got up and left, continuing his journey. After Zichen left, that person emerged from the ground. He glanced at the light of law on the ground and then glanced in the direction in which the other party left. He clasped his fist and bowed again. Then, he took the light of law and drilled back into the ground. For the rest of the journey, Zichen encountered similar situations several times, so he helped whenever he could. About 10 days later, he appeared outside the Alliance base. This was a level 8 Pure Land. It was also the only publicly recognized Alliance base in this area. It ruled over hundreds of Pure Lands nearby. Among them, there were some places like the Thunder Mystic Pure Land that governed the nearby Pure Lands. Zichen arrived at the Alliance Pure Land. As long as he showed the Alliance token, he could enter and leave for free. Entering the Pure Land, Zichen was a little dazed as he looked at the incomparably huge city. Since it was their first time here, they weren't familiar with the surroundings. Zichen found someone and asked where the Alliance base was. Then, he went there alone. The Alliance base was at the core. This was the Alliance's main base, and it took up a huge amount of space. There were 16 guards at the entrance. Apart from that, there was also a spell extermination realm leader. Just as Zichen walked to the entrance, he was stopped by one of them. "This is the Alliance base. Unauthorized personnel are not allowed to enter." One of them looked at the unfamiliar Zichen. Zichen took out the token. Seeing the token in Zichen's hand, the guard's expression changed. There were 2 types of Alliance tokens. Ordinary people didn't know, but they knew very well. Those who were able to hold the headquarters token were naturally extraordinary. "Looking for someone?" the Law Extermination Realm team leader asked when he saw the situation. Zichen said, "Zhou-Ho sent me a message. I'm here to report." Hearing this, the Spell Extermination Realm leader's expression changed again. Then, a smile appeared on his face. "So it's Lord Zhou-Ho. There must be something important. Please come in." Not long after he returned, Zhou broke through and became a heavenly law. In the Alliance base, heavenly law had an extremely high status. Zichen didn't know any of this. He nodded at the guard and walked forward. However, after taking a few steps, he turned around again, feeling a little troubled. Where could he find Zhou? Zichen asked. May I know where Lord Zhou is now? Lord should be in Zhou Mansion now. It's easy to find him. The guard captain's heart skipped a beat. Why don't I take you there? Then I'll have to trouble you. Zichen cupped his fists at the guard and smiled gratefully. Carson, what kind of person is that? Are you going to take him inside? At this moment, an indifferent voice sounded. A person could be seen walking towards them. That person's gaze swept over Zichen, and there was obvious hostility in his eyes. Carson immediately cupped his fists and said, Lord, he's here to look for Lord Zhou. He said that Lord Zhou summoned him and specially came to report. The person looked at Zichen. What's your name? Zichen cupped his fists. Zichen. Zichen. A murderous intent suddenly flashed in Orlando's eyes. You're the one who killed Speck? When Carson heard this, he was shocked. They also heard that Speck was killed, and it was said that it caused quite a commotion. But they didn't expect that he was killed by the young man in front of them. Originally, he thought that this should be a talent that Lord Zhou knew. However, it was only now that he realized that this was clearly a terrifying expert. After all, Speck was already in the 7th stage realm. The person who could kill him was definitely not simple. It's me. Zichen felt a murderous intent from the other party. It was obvious that the other party's relationship with Speck was not bad. How dare you come here after killing someone? Men, take him down! The murderous intent around Orlando was not restrained in the slightest. Carson and the others were stunned at this moment, and didn't immediately take action. What kind of joke was this? The other party was also a member of the Alliance, and was called over by Lord Zhou. How would they dare to take action? Orlando said coldly. What are you waiting for? Hurry up and take him down! Carson and the others were put in a difficult position. Zichen said indifferently. Why are you making things difficult for others? Come over if you have the ability. How dare you! Orlando released the aura around him. He was shockingly in 8th stage annihilation realm. Then today I'll let you see that arrogance has a price to pay. Zichen smiled disdainfully. 8th stage realm and you're so arrogant? Those who don't know would think that you're heaven law. You're courting death. Orlando wanted to take action. Stop! A voice rang out. It was Huiyen. She walked out from inside. Huiyen, you came at the right time. This is the person who killed Speck. Quickly catch him. Seeing Huiyen, Orlando immediately said. The higher-ups have long decided on Speck's death. This matter has nothing to do with Zichen. Huiyen walked out. Orlando, don't pester Zichen. Orlando said angrily. He killed Speck and you actually say that it has nothing to do with him? Huiyen, are you still a member of the Alliance? Huiyen said indifferently. This is the higher-up's intention. If you're not convinced, I can go find Zhou and see what he has to say. The two words Zhou caused Orlando's expression to change. He naturally didn't have the guts to find Zhou to reason with. He glared angrily at Zichen. Kid, you'd better keep praying that you don't fall into my hands. Otherwise, don't blame me for killing you. With that, he turned and left. Ignore him. Let's go. Huiyen brought Zichen and walked towards the depths. Before leaving, Zichen cupped his fist towards the guard captain, Carson, to express his gratitude. Chapter 5275. Seeing the two of them leave, Carson's expression gradually turned solemn. Sir, did he really kill Speck? A guard beside him had a bewildered expression. Even Lord Grey Swallow is here. Of course, it can't be fake. To be honest, Speck was not well liked here and had a bad reputation. However, he had a good relationship with many experts, including a heavenly law, so everyone gave him some leeway. Hearing the news of Speck's death, countless people in the Alliance secretly drank a few more cups while they were grieving on the surface. Perhaps this place will be very lively. Curson retracted his gaze. Zichen followed Grey Swallow to meet Zhou-Ho. The people of the Alliance all lived here. As long as they contributed enough to the Alliance, they could arrange a residence. When he saw Zhou-Ho and sensed his calm aura, Zichen's expression changed slightly. Compared to last time, his aura seemed to be stronger. Zichen felt pressure with just a glance. Zhou-Ho looked at Zichen and said, "I called you here because I have a mission for you." Without waiting for Zhou-Ho to finish, Grey Swallow said, "We saw Orlando just now." Zhou-Ho said, "The higher-ups have already decided on Speck's death. However, Speck has many good friends and has some connections in the headquarters. Although the others don't dare to do anything openly, you still have to be careful." Zichen nodded. Zhou-Ho continued, "This time you need to bring some people to participate in a trial." "I'm leading the team?" Zichen was stunned. "Don't worry, they're only in the spirit realm. With your current strength, protecting them is not a problem." Zhou-Ho continued, "Also, there are other exterminators with you. Don't worry." Hearing this, Zichen nodded again. "If there's anything in the future, you can come to me. After all, you're considered to be on my side." "Yes." On the way, Grey Swallow told Zichen some things about Speck's identity. Zichen could guess that Zhou-Ho had put in a lot of effort in this matter. "Originally, there was a reward for you joining the Alliance. However, your rise is a little special, so the reward is waived." Zichen's rise to power was based on killing people from the Alliance. Regardless of whether it was the headquarters or the branch, they were all on the same side. It wouldn't look good to give them any more rewards. Zhou-Ho had no intention of inviting Zichen to stay for dinner, so Grey Swallow sent Zichen out. Originally, he wanted to arrange for him to stay in the Alliance, but Zichen refused. This Pure Land was very large, and it was also very prosperous and lively. When he first came here, Zichen saw an entire street full of selling things. He had not been in this world for a long time, so there were many things that he did not understand. This was an opportunity for him. After leaving the Alliance's encampment and nodding to Carson, Zichen went to that street. There were shops and vendors on both sides of the street. Zichen passed by those shops and looked at some of the things that the vendors had displayed. There were weapons, jade talismans, spirit medicines, and some peculiar bones. Among them, jade talismans were the most expensive. Zichen walked past the vendors one by one. He looked at those things as if he was looking at flowers on horseback. His soul power would occasionally fall on them to see if he could find any abnormalities. This was the so-called picking up scraps. Suddenly, Zichen stopped. Next to him, an old man was setting up a stall. Almost all the items in front of him were jade talismans. Even though there was a seal, they still shone brightly. What Zichen valued was also a jade talisman. He squatted down and showed interest in the jade talisman. The old man glanced at Zichen. Zichen picked up a jade talisman and asked, "What is this?" The old man said indifferently, "Escape talisman. It has a range of 10,000 feet and costs 3,000 law crystals." Zichen picked up another jade talisman and asked, "What about this?" The old man said again, "Fire Spirit Array. It's about equivalent to the full power attack of a 4th level law eradicator. It costs 100 law crystals." When Zichen heard this, his expression changed. This escape talisman was actually so much more expensive than the attack talisman. He picked up a few more jade talismans and asked for the price. The prices were all different. However, Zichen also had a rough estimate. Inadvertently, he took out another jade talisman and asked, "What about this one?" The old man's eyes were already showing some impatience. However, after seeing Zichen pick up the jade talisman, he immediately put away his impatience and said, "The use of this is unknown. It costs 10,000 law crystals." Law crystals were divided into grades. However, under normal circumstances, the price was based on the lowest grade. For example, These 10,000 law crystals were about equivalent to 10 fourth level law crystals, which was equivalent to 10 fourth level law eradicators. Zichen was a little surprised by this price. One had to know that the highest grade of the previous ones was only 3,000. Kid, don't think that this old man is asking for a sky-high price. Although I don't know what this is, it's very likely to be something from the immortal soul race. The old man looked at the slightly stunned Zichen and said, Immortal soul race? Zichen was stunned again. He had never heard of it before. Wasn't it the spirit race or the demon race? Looking at Zichen's expression, the old man curled his lips. You haven't even heard of the immortal soul race. Presumably you can't afford this jade talisman. Scram, scram, scram. Scram! The old man began to wave his hand to chase him away. His previous impatience had completely erupted. The people around him immediately cast strange gazes in his direction. Zichen was also in a difficult position. He did not bring many resources with him this time. It was indeed difficult to take out 10,000 law crystals at once. At this moment, not far away, there were a few young people strolling on this street. Looking at the commotion, one of the young people sneered. Another pauper. Of all the places you can go, why do you have to go to the stubborn old man's stall to look for trouble? If you don't buy anything from him, you'll definitely be scolded badly. The others also laughed out loud. To them, this kind of thing was not strange. There were many stalls here with people coming and going. Only this stubborn old man was here all year round. One of the young people suddenly exclaimed. He looked in front of him in disbelief. When he blinked and found that it was indeed that person, he was pleasantly surprised. Ignoring the dissuasion of the people around him, he immediately stepped forward and shouted. Sir, it's you? You little kid, scram! This old man is not in the mood to pay attention to you today. When the old man heard this, he immediately waved at the young man. He seemed to know him, and his expression softened. Unexpectedly, the young man did not leave. Instead, he stepped forward and looked at Zichen. Sir, it's really you! At first, Zichen found the voice familiar, but he did not pay much attention to it. However, as the other party approached, he turned his head to look at the other party, and was slightly stunned. It was Vader, the young man who had followed him for quite some time. Zichen asked in surprise. Why are you here? Vader said excitedly. I also want to ask you, sir. Why are you here? Seeing how agitated Vader was, the gazes of the onlookers changed as well. Could it be that the other party was an amazing person? The other young people also followed after seeing this. Vader, you know him? Vader nodded and then said proudly. He's the amazing sir I told you about. What? The young people were stunned and then looked at Zichen in disbelief. Such a young sir? Sir, are you here to buy something? Vader looked at Zichen. Zichen shook his head and said, Just looking. Of course, he would not say that he was shy. In fact, it could not be said that he was shy. After all, he had heavenly law crystals. However, if he took them out, it would definitely cause a commotion and he might even lose his life. Chapter 5276. Everyone's expression changed upon hearing Vader's words. Even the old man had a strange expression on his face. He held up the jade talisman. 10,000! Everyone exclaimed in surprise. This was not a small number. Even Vader was stunned. Old man, don't joke around. Don't joke around. You have something worth 10,000 magic crystals here? The old man's face was cold. This jade talisman is suspected to be from the Immortal Soul clan. Do you think it's worth this price? Not only did his words not cause exclamations, but they also caused laughter. This old man often set up a stall here. Everyone knew very well whether he had anything good here. This jade talisman had been here for a long time, and no one had asked about it. Forget it. I just thought it looked familiar, but now it's gone. Vader still had not advanced to the spell annihilation realm. It was obviously very difficult for him to take out 10,000 magic crystals. Zichen did not want to make things difficult for him. Unexpectedly, Vader said. Since it's something that caught your eye, it must be something good. I'll buy it. The next moment, Vader took out 10 level 4 magic crystals. He bought it decisively. This stunned Zichen. When he first met Vader, he had spent all of his resources on his accommodation. When did he become so rich? The friends who came with Vader were also stunned. Wasn't this too extravagant? The old man took the magic crystals from Vader and threw the jade talisman to Zichen. I'm not lying to you. This thing is suspected to be from the Immortal Soul clan. However, no one has been able to find out what's inside for many years. Some say it's empty, while others say they haven't found a way to open it. Zichen took the jade talisman and nodded. Then he looked at Vader. I'll return it to you when I have time. What are you talking about, sir? I'm indebted to you for taking care of me a few days ago. Since you've come to the Alliance's encampment today, I must do my part as a host. Vader was very enthusiastic and pulled Zichen to a meal. Thinking that the other party had just helped him, it was not good to leave just like that. Zichen agreed. Many people pointed at them as they walked past. Occasionally, the words, sucker, would be heard. Clearly, no one believed that this item was truly a product of the Immortal Soul tribe. Zichen did not care about this. He did not know what the Immortal Soul clan was, but he could sense a familiar aura from the jade talisman. The old man looked at Zichen's back and fell into deep thought. Could it be that he knows how to open it? Along the way, Vader's friends sized up Zichen with suspicious gazes. They were all very vigilant, worried that this was a fraud. After all, 10 level 4 spell crystals were not a small sum, even for Vader. What is the Immortal Soul clan that they spoke of earlier? Instantly, the way they looked at Zichen was different. Zichen said, What's the difference between Dharma souls and the spirit race? Their statuses are different. Dharma souls have a higher status. You can't tell from here, but if you go further in, the difference in status will become more obvious. Moreover, Dharma souls' combat strength is even more terrifying. They're second only to immortal souls, and belong to the higher combat strength of the spirit race. Vader paused, then said, However, to become a Dharma soul, one has to be at least at the Heaven Dharma realm. But Lord, you can take the test first. If you pass, you can ask for an alternate identity. That's also very impressive. Seeing that Zichen wasn't very interested, Vader added, Lord, it's said that many lost spirit designs are hidden in the Dharma Soul Alliance. Zichen was a little tempted. But what he wanted to know was if there were as many spirit designs as there were in his head. After all, he had the entire legacy of the Tao of Divine Emblems. The few of them came to a restaurant. Vader ordered a table of dishes and a few bottles of wine. After eating and drinking to their heart's content, Vader helped Zichen arrange a place to stay. During this time, Zichen found out that Vader was also a member of the Alliance, and even came from the headquarters. That was right. When Zhou appeared and stopped the 7th stage spec, it was also because of Vader's message. Speaking of which, it was Zichen who owed Vader a favor. When they arrived at the residence, Zichen took out the jade talisman. This was a kind of seal. Others might not be able to sense it, but for him, who had the legacy of the Tao of Divine Emblems, it wasn't difficult. He stretched out his hand and the seal appeared. One! Chapter 5277. On the surface of the jade talisman was a sealing technique. Coincidentally, Zichen's divine runes included such a sealing technique. This was also the reason why he wanted this item. However, Zichen did not know what was inside. He was taking a gamble. As for winning or losing, it all depended on luck. Light swirled in front of him, and a small formation appeared. The light intertwined. Within it, there was a ball of light. There was indeed something. Zichen's eyes revealed a hint of surprise. He stretched out his finger and reached forward. His fingertip touched the light. Buzz! The ball of light in front of him disappeared. A message appeared in Zichen's mind. Solidifying Jade Technique! Seeing this message, Zichen was a little confused. As more information appeared, the confusion in Zichen's eyes disappeared and was replaced by shock. Boss, Dharma Soul has a very deep understanding of spirit formation seals. Apart from being strong enough, the most important thing is that they are rich. Very rich. Any one of them is a rich person. That's because they know how to refine jade. It's the jade talisman from before. Regardless of whether it's offensive or defensive, only Dharma Soul knows how to refine it. This was what Vader had said to Zichen previously. However, what appeared in front of Zichen now was exactly the jade refining technique that Vader had mentioned. It could condense spirit formations into jade talismans, and then preserve them. Zichen closed his eyes and sensed carefully. Because he had the divine rune Dao inheritance, it was not difficult to understand. Compared to other spirit formation seals, it was similar. After only an hour, Zichen opened his eyes. As expected, he had completely mastered the solidifying jade technique, and could completely seal the condensed spirit formation seals into jade talismans. The prerequisite was that he had to have a jade talisman with him. Looking at the sky, it was already dark. Zichen decided to go tomorrow morning. Unexpectedly, when the sky had just brightened the next day, Grey Swallow came to ask Zichen to go to the Alliance. Hey, have you guys heard? Our leader this time is a legendary person, someone said. Lan Shan looked to the side and said mysteriously. What legendary figure? Anjali asked curiously. Even Vader's attention was drawn. The others also cast their gazes over. It is said that he has only been here for a short period of time. However, regardless of whether it is in terms of cultivation or battle prowess, they are both rare in this world. To be able to surpass one's cultivation level and battle prowess is a common occurrence, Lan Shan said. It is said that in order to invite such a genius here, the Alliance paid a great price. Oh, what kind of genius is it? Everyone's curiosity was piqued. Right at this moment, a young man walked over from afar. After seeing that person, the expressions of Lan Shan and the others all changed. That person was also startled. Sir, why are you here? Vader looked at Zichen, who was walking over, with an astonished expression. Zichen was also puzzled and asked, Why are you here? Vader said, We are going to participate in the trial. What about you, my lord? Zichen said, I think I need to bring some people to participate in the trial. These words immediately caused an uproar. Everyone looked at Zichen in shock. Could it be that this person was their leader? That legendary figure? No wonder, no wonder! Vader said excitedly. I was wondering who here could be worthy of the word legendary. So it's my lord! That's right! He had seen Zichen in battle and knew how strong Zichen was. In addition to Lan Shan's previous words, he was even more certain that Zichen was that legendary figure. Everyone, this is Lord Zichen. I saw him surpassing one's cultivation level with my own eyes. He is definitely a legendary figure. Vader immediately introduced Zichen to everyone. Zichen was also a little dazed. It couldn't be so coincidental, right? He took out a token and said, Are you sure this is the person I want to bring? Yes, very sure. Vader looked at the token and nodded repeatedly. Sir Legendary Figure, please tell us what to do next. Zichen shook his head and said, There are others leading the way this time. I'm only responsible for your safety. When these words were spoken, the gazes that everyone looked at Zichen with grew even more admiration. Unexpectedly, at this moment, a light snort sounded. I'm afraid you have some misunderstanding about a legendary figure. Everyone heard and immediately turned their heads. They saw Orlando walking over. Everyone knew Orlando and immediately saluted him with cupped fists. Orlando glanced at Zichen disdainfully. What kind of legendary figure is he? He came this time to redeem himself. At best, he is a clown. If it weren't for some people abusing their power, he would have been dead long ago. After saying that, Orlando's expression changed. He said respectfully, The real legendary figure is here, Lord Leonard. A young man could be seen walking toward them. He was very young, wore a long robe, and was very handsome. To be able to invite Lord Leonard this time, the Alliance paid a great price. But it's mainly because Lord Leonard has the intention to come. Otherwise, no matter how great the price is, Lord Leonard won't come. Leonard walked over and looked at everyone with a smile. Everyone, I'm not a legendary figure. I'm just a very ordinary law annihilation. Moreover, I'm only in the 6th degree now. When everyone heard this, they became more curious about Lord Leonard. Orlando said respectfully, "That's because Lord Leonard is modest." Now, everyone knows that Lord Leonard has completed the Lost Soul assessment and become a reserve member. It's only a matter of time before you become a Lost Soul. What, a reserve member of the Lost Soul? These people were completely stunned. They all looked at Leonard with admiration in their eyes. Once he passed the assessment and became a reserve member, as long as he reached the heavenly law realm in the future, he would be a Lost Soul. It was not an exaggeration to say that he was a legendary figure. "Greetings, Lord Lost Soul." Immediately, someone bowed to him respectfully. The others also followed suit. "Everyone, there's no need to be so polite. It seems that I'm not much older than all of you. Let's just call each other friends." Leonard walked forward. Come. I've prepared some small gifts for all of you." Leonard took out some jade talismans. There's an attack equivalent to a level 2 law annihilation inside. Wow, as expected of Lord Lost Soul. Such a valuable item, and you call it a small gift. Isn't that so? This jade talisman is worth at least 10 law crystals. Thank you, Lord Leonard. Lord Leonard is the real legendary figure. Everyone's eyes lit up as they received the jade talismans respectfully. The real legendary figure is Lord Leonard. Some people are just pretending to be legendary figures. Just as everyone was praising Leonard, a discordant voice suddenly sounded. Only then did everyone react. They looked at Zichin with contempt in their eyes. "Kit, who are you saying is pretending to be legendary figures?" Vader glared at the person who spoke. He didn't even look at the jade talisman that Leonard handed over. Kit smiled faintly. Naturally, there are some shameless people who dare to call themselves legendary figures in front of Lord Leonard. They should take a look at themselves first. He raised the jade talisman in his hand and looked at Zichin. "Lord Leonard, don't you think so? You want to die." Vader's eyes flashed with killing intent. He wouldn't allow anyone to insult Lord Zichin like this. "Do you have the ability?" Kit also had a provocative look. "How about I give you a handicap of 2 moves? Stop quarreling. We should set off." Zichen's voice sounded. Chapter 5278. In the face of cynicism, Zichen's mood didn't fluctuate at all. In any case, he had once been the strongest in the world, and had experienced countless life and death situations. Naturally, his mood wouldn't be so easily affected. Zichin could see that the one called Kit was from Orlando, and he was hostile to Vader. This move was to provoke him. "Let's go." No matter what, Zichin was the leader of the team. Orlando didn't continue to target Zichin in this matter. "Who's going to lead the way?" Orlando glanced around. Zichen's eyes flashed with surprise. "You're going too?" Orlando snorted. "I'm the same as Lord Leonard this time. I'm the main force protecting everyone, and I'm not the same as you, who just dawdles." Zichin didn't say much, but he was vigilant in his heart. Orlando was obviously hostile to him, so why would Zhou-Ho arrange for him to go with them? "My lord, I'll lead the way this time." A hunchbacked old man came over and saluted Zichin. Zichin smiled and nodded, thanking him for his trouble. Orlando pursed his lips and snorted, very dissatisfied that the old man didn't greet him. The group of more than a dozen people walked out of the encampment. When they got to the door, there was still a group of guards waiting there, and the head of the guards was Carson. When they saw Zichen's group, they immediately cupped their fists in salute, and then took the initiative to stand on either side. Zichin asked, "You're going too?" Carson nodded. "It was Lord Zhou-Ho who arranged it." Orlando sneered. "Did you hear that? Because there's one more good for nothing, so he arranged for so many people." Zichen glanced at Orlando. Orlando stared coldly at Zichen, not concealing his hostility in the slightest. Not convinced? Or do you think I'm wrong? Zichen said. I won't allow you to say that about yourself. Orlando stared blankly, not understanding Zichen's words. Just then, there was laughter. Everyone's expression became extremely strange. Orlando carefully recalled Zichen's words and immediately reacted. He roared, How dare you call me trash? Do you want to die? Zichen looked at Orlando and said, For better or for worse, you are an 8th tier Dharma destruction cultivator. Why are you jumping up and down like a clown? If you want to fight with me, then let's fight after we leave this place. We're still in the Pure Land, but you don't dare to fight. Instead, you keep provoking me. Don't you think you're just a buzzing fly? These words were very impolite. Even Leonard's expression changed. Previously, he had sensed Zichen's realm aura, and he was at most at the 4th level of the Law Destruction realm. Such a low-leveled existence, what guts did he have to challenge an 8th stage realm cultivator? The others also had strange expressions on their faces. You! Orlando's eyes were filled with cold killing intent as he pointed at Zichen. Zichen directly interrupted his words. If you have the ability, then make a move now. If not, then shut your mouth obediently. Orlando naturally didn't dare to make a move here. He suppressed his anger and gave a cold harumph. Then I'll let you live for a while longer. Originally Zichen wanted to head to the nearby shops to purchase some blank jade talismans. He wanted to try condensing some jade talismans. Not to mention other things, just this wealthy area alone had an extremely huge attraction to Zichen. Because those people who came along with him were all lacking in resources. But after thinking about it, he gave up on that idea. It was better not to expose such methods. The group of them walked out of the Pure Land. Orlando's anger erupted in an instant. He couldn't tolerate it any longer and prepared to strike out at Zichen right here. Just at this moment, Leonard shook his head. Orlando retracted his murderous intent and gave a cold harumph once again. This scene didn't affect Zichen. Since he dared to provoke the 8th stage realm Orlando, he naturally wasn't afraid. Old man, where are we going? Hunchback Old Man hurriedly replied. Replying to Sir, we will be heading to the Pure Land this time, and these little adults will also be taking part in the assessment there. Zichen smiled slightly and said, Old man can just call me Zichen. I wonder what's in the Pure Land? Replying to Sir, that is a place jointly controlled by the Spirit Clan and the Yimo. For many years, the Spirit Clan and the Yimo have been undergoing refinement there. As for what's inside, I'm not sure. That's a pure land of soul power. Just at this moment, Vader opened his mouth and said, There are some soul power opportunities inside, and if you can obtain some, it will greatly increase your soul power. At the same time, there are rumors that there's an extraordinary soul skill inside, but no one has ever obtained it. They should have done their homework before coming here because Vader was very familiar with that place. Only by passing the Pure Lands assessment and raising one's soul power will one be able to pass the Dharma Soul assessment in the future and become a member of the reserves. To become a Dharma Soul, other than innate talent, one also needs powerful soul power. Just at this moment, a laugh rang out. That's right. To become a Dharma Soul, powerful soul power is a must. This laugh came from Luoeo. He stretched out his hand and a Dharma seal appeared in his palm. Seeing this Dharma seal, everyone's eyes lit up. It was at his fingertips. Only with powerful soul power can one quickly condense Dharma seals. Just like what I'm doing now, a Dharma seal that's comparable to a level 2 Dharma Annihilation Realm Dharma seal. Luoeo waved his hand again and different Dharma seals appeared, emitting powerful fluctuations. Exclamations rang out in the surroundings. Everyone was shocked. Only Vader had a very strange expression. He glanced at Lord Zichen and realized that he wasn't looking at him at all. Indeed, when he saw Lord was only at the level 2 Dharma Annihilation realm, but such a powerful Dharma seal was at his fingertips. Compared to this Luoeo, Lord Grimm's methods were many times more brilliant. Now, he was more and more convinced that Lord Grimm was a true legend. This time, Lord Luo is with us. You can rest assured. Orlando also said at this moment. This is also the reason why the Alliance arranged for us to come here. Unlike some people, we're just here to make up the numbers. For a moment, everyone's eyes fell on Zichen. Obviously, they knew who he was talking about. Zichen still didn't respond. After leaving the Alliance's Pure Land, everyone sped up. At night they stopped to rest. Zichen's performance was very normal. He didn't put on the airs of an adult and spoke very little. He looked very gentle. In fact, in the eyes of others, he was incompetent and didn't have a deterrent force. On the contrary, Orlando often pointed at everyone, as if he wanted to usurp the role of the host. 7 days later, at night, a group of people came. They were all wearing masks and holding weapons in their hands. They were full of killing intent. "Enemy attack!" Kosen exclaimed. All the guards immediately perked up. Zichen was also looking ahead. Among these people, the highest level was at the level 5 Dharma Annihilation Realm, and there were 2 of them. Such an existence was definitely a powerhouse. Why would they appear here? Small matter. Just as everyone was extremely nervous, Luo Ao's voice sounded. He walked forward and said in a calm tone, "You guys just need to watch the show." As soon as he finished speaking, something appeared in his hand. Golden light flickered. It was a golden bell. On the golden bell, patterns overlapped. At a glance, it gave people a sense of dizziness. This is the supreme treasure of the Dharma Soul clan, the Dharma Soul World Destroyer bell. Although mine is only a replica, it won't have a problem killing these rascals. Clang! The bell rang. Golden ripples surged, and destructive power surged. Zichen looked at the golden bell and was completely stunned. Chapter 5280. In the images that Zichen saw back then, there was a terrifying existence that invaded the runic tribe. This led to the destruction of the runic tribe. But now, Leonard was saying that the runic tribe rebelled and deserved to die. The others clearly did not understand this part of history, and were all listening quietly. Leonard continued, "Back then, in order to quell the rebellion, the Fahan tribe suffered great casualties. In the end, it was the Immortal Soul tribe that took action. After the runic tribe was destroyed, we took back all the formations that were passed down to them. Such ungrateful ingrates deserve to be destroyed." Kit's face had a hint of anger. "Since ancient times, such despicable people are the most detestable." "That's right. Evil will never win against justice." The others agreed with him. Leonard continued, "Although the runic tribe was destroyed, it was inevitable that some things were left behind. If you have any clues about the runic tribe, as long as you report it to the Fahan Alliance, you will definitely be rewarded. If you can find some lost formations, you might be bestowed with a drop of Fahan blood to change your own bloodline." As soon as he said this, everyone's expression changed and their mood became heated. Zichen had doubts in his eyes. He asked, "Didn't they say that all the formations of the runic tribe came from the Fahan tribe? Moreover, after the runic tribe was destroyed, the Fahan Alliance took back all the formations. Why is there a saying that they were lost?" Leonard was stunned. Clearly, he did not expect Zichen to ask such a question. For a moment, he did not know how to answer. "Why do you have so many questions? You dare to question the Fahan Alliance? Which side are you on?" Orlando stared coldly at Zichen. Zichen said, "I'm just curious." Leonard said indifferently, "Naturally, not all of them were taken back. Back then, the divines suddenly rebelled and stole many formations. Some of them were hidden by them." Zichen nodded and said, "No wonder the formations that I learned were incomplete." Zichen did not continue to argue, even though he had found many loopholes in Leonard's words. Leonard had a smug look on his face as he enjoyed the admiring gazes of everyone. Zichen didn't think that he was lying. Something must have gone wrong with that part of history. But if the Tao of divine inscriptions was destroyed by Dharma souls and immortal souls, then what was the reason? Both sides were astrals. There was no need for them to kill each other, was there? Not to mention the extermination of an entire clan. My lord, I feel that if there are any more dangers, it should be time for some people to take action. After all, one of us is nominally a captain. At this moment, Orlando said faintly. That's right, Kit said. Some people think they're the captains and say they're legends. If there's any more danger, it's natural for someone to step forward. Several more people began to jeer, all of them Kit's men. It could be seen that these trial takers were divided into two small teams. Vader and his friends formed a team of 4. As for Kit's side, there were 8 people, so there were a lot of people, and their voices were especially loud. Vader and the other 3 didn't seem to have much to say when they heard the clamor of Kit and the rest. After all, Zichen was indeed the captain. Leonard laughed. That's good too. After all, he's someone personally selected by Zhou-Ho, and he knows the arrays of our Dharma souls. He must have some special tricks up his sleeve. If there's any more danger, he can show them off and we can compare notes. If there's anything lacking, I can improve on it. His modest words immediately drew laughter. My lord, are you joking? What can this guy compare notes with my lord? That's right, someone like him doesn't deserve to carry my lord's shoes. My lord is too kind to be so courteous to such a guy. Exactly, we should expose him immediately. Kit and the others chimed in one after another, lifting Leonard up high and belittling Zichen beneath their feet. Zichen glanced at Leonard and smiled. Very well, then I'll show you what it means to have a trick up your sleeve. Leonard had seemed modest on the way here, but in reality, he deliberately used such tricks to target him. Kit and the others were naturally disdainful. 5 days later, under the expectant gazes of Kit and the others, there were finally some blind people blocking their way. Be on guard, Carson shouted, and the guards were also ready. Orlando saw the situation and said, What are you all doing? Didn't I say to let someone else do it? Carson was a bit embarrassed. After all, they'd come here to protect everyone. Now, the guards hadn't moved, but the boss wanted to do it. Zichen said, No matter, I'll be right back. With that, Zichen walked forward. There were more than a dozen people in front, the leader looking indifferently at Zichen. Zichen walked closer. Let's discuss. Are we discussing how we're going to die? The leader sneered. Zichen said, Everyone, take a look at this. Zichen took out a crystal, which reflected the previous battle scene. As the scene appeared, they saw one after another being killed by the golden bell, and their faces changed. I'm the leader of this team, and I hate fighting and killing the most in my life. When I discussed it with those people, they didn't listen. Zichen looked at the crowd. I think, with the lesson of the past, you should listen? What do you want to do? The leader looked at Zichen with an ugly expression. Zichen held out his hand, saying, Naturally, if we can avoid fighting, then we won't fight. After all, harmony breeds wealth. His 2 fingers rubbed together, and his meaning couldn't be more obvious. Their faces became more and more ugly. They'd originally been robbing, but now they were the ones being robbed. Zichen stood there and didn't say anything. They looked at each other again, and their expressions changed. Zichen said, If we run, we do have a chance, but I reckon half of you will die. As for who lives and who dies, that'll depend on luck. Ignoring their ashen faces, Zichen smiled faintly. I'm just kidding. If we really did fight, none of you would be able to escape. Of all the people you could find trouble with, you just had to find trouble with Dharma souls. Consider us unlucky. The word Dharma souls almost made the leader despair. He directly took out 5 5th-level law crystals. Is this enough? Zichen frowned. Previously, several 5th-degree realm cultivators died. How much do you think they left behind? The leader gritted his teeth and took out another 5 crystals. Zichen received them and said a word of thanks. He turned around and left. The others could only admit defeat and hurriedly left. See that, no blood on the blade of the soldiers. Zichen directly threw 10 law crystals to Carson. Everyone divide it. You're really shameless, is this your strength? Orlando ridiculed. If it wasn't for Sir Leonard's reputation, you'd probably be beaten to death. That's right, I thought you had some ability, but it turns out that your bullshit is useless, only knowing how to intimidate others. Kit and the rest naturally wouldn't miss the opportunity to ridicule Zichen. Zichen said, This is called wisdom, what do you know? It's indeed wisdom. Orlando smiled, but this smile was somewhat meaningful. There were no more dangers on the road ahead. As for Orlando and the others, they no longer deliberately targeted Zichen. Finally, they arrived at the pure land of hunting. From afar, Zichen saw many people coming in and out. Among them, there were also mantis demons. But when both sides met, they didn't start a battle and restrained each other. At the entrance, someone was in charge of registration. One of them asked, Who's the leader? Me. Before Zichen could speak, Leonard took a step forward. This time, I'll lead everyone into the Pure Land trial.